Are we going to start with event 38, which is I'm sorry, event 3, girls 4x1?
At this time, will all participants please stand, face the scoreboard, and remove your hats for the national anthem?
Are they going to give us a heads up when we're live?
Thank you.
Well, good afternoon and welcome to Weslaco, Texas. We are at the Bobby Lackey Stadium where today K-West is bringing you the Jimmy Platt. We're at Bobby Lackey Stadium, but we're at the Jimmy Platt Mid-Valley Classic Track and Field Invitational. I am Joe Aguilar, joined by Mike Gonzalez, going to bring you all the action from this afternoon. We've already had a lot of events take place this afternoon. It's going to be nothing but running events, all of the finals. Mike?
Great to be here, Joe. It's a beautiful day today. It's windy, but it's a nice day to have a track meet. This is I want to say this is the 6th annual Jimmy Platt event. I know they renamed the event several years ago in honor of Jimmy Platt, who I believe is watching out in the Houston area. So we just want to say hello to him if he is watching, and hopefully he'll enjoy the broadcast. But this event, Joe, goes back about 30 years. It's a long time, a lot of history here. A lot of great runners have participated in this event, and I'm looking forward to it, Joe. This is one of my favorite events because for a lot of these schools, they've already participated in about 4 or 5 track meets. So we're kind of in the peak of track season as district nears.
Absolutely. And we're going to go and get right underway here. First event this afternoon right here live on K. This is going to be the girls 4x100 meter relay. We're going to have Westlaco High in lane 2, Westlaco East in lane 3, in lane 4 is going to be Harlingen, lane 5 Harlingen South, and in lane 6 it will be Donna. Let's give you the runners of your Westlaco High School relay team, and that's going to be starting it off is going to be Stephanie Almazan. Second leg is going to be Tatiana Arellano. The third leg, Calissa Cavazos, and anchoring this squad is going to be Alexa Davila. In lane 3 is going to be your Westlaco East, and the first leg, the starter is going to be JC Cazares. Second leg, Ashley Garcia. Third leg, Melody Herrera, and anchoring that squad is going to be Giovanni Cazares. Harlingen, Lauren Sweeney, Valeria Cruz, Cassandra Rodriguez, Faith Franklin. Harlingen South, Faith Martinez, Isabel Mares, Daniela Maximo, Saraí Rodriguez, and Donna Brianna Caldwell. Nicole Moreno, Calista Nino, and Zalia Washington. You know, Mike, we've been broadcasting a lot of games and just different sporting events, and a lot of these names are duplicated. We've seen them play either volleyball, basketball, soccer. You know, we've seen a lot of these athletes already, and what a joy it is to see them just be excelling in multiple areas, multiple sports.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. These are athletes that participate in multiple sports, and we see them excel in them. Not only do they just participate, but they do so well in them. And then when track season comes, I mean, they just show us what they can do in the track field as well. I mean, whether it's the field events or whether it's running events, whatever. And I mean, collectively, it just all kind of comes together because when you're in track and field, it does require teamwork. It does require teamwork, just like it does for volleyball and just like it does for basketball, softball, even baseball. All this just requires teamwork, and this is awesome. This is awesome, Joe, because in relays, what do? They hand a baton to each other, and it requires a certain rhythm, a certain technique.
Yeah, you mentioned teamwork, and absolutely, Mike, in the relays, that's what it really is all about because, you've got one person with the baton who's got to exchange to the next person, and you've got only so much room in which to make that happen. And so, this requires a lot of timing, a lot of just practice, and, of course, at each exchange, you've got different people saying different things. Like some people say, let's just say, for instance, the Wildcats, might say Wildcat, or some people say hand. I know when I ran track, we used the silent exchange to avoid all that. So we would mark off our steps and then mark off our hand step. So we had two different spots that we were working with. So yeah, it requires a lot of teamwork, and that's what we love to see is just these athletes working together for the school and the school they represent, and of course the team that they represent as well. But more than anything else, they represent their community as well.
And something to keep an eye on, Joe, is the wind. We talk about the weather in the opening of the broadcast. It's still pretty windy out there. I imagine as the meet goes further in, the wind will die down a little bit, but it's still blowing pretty hard out there. I'm looking at the flags, and I'm trying to just kind of take a little guess out there, but I would imagine at least 25 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough one today. As you mentioned, it is windy, and I think it'll affect a few of the athletes today, depending on the different events. So we're ready to get underway here. The girls 4x100 meter relay. We've got all of the athletes in their lanes. We're just waiting for the starter to make sure that all of the different sections where there will be exchanges happening, give them the thumbs up.
I had a chance to talk to Coach Pablo Marguerite this morning, Joe, and I asked him, I know you guys have had a lot of success in this meet. How many years in a row have y'all won? And he believes they are shooting for their 11th straight win in this particular invitational.
Well, that's something to keep in the back of our minds as we progress throughout the night. The winds are coming out of the south-southeast at 17 miles an hour, and I'm pretty sure they're gusting in upwards of 30. So it's going to be interesting to watch here tonight as we get into the evening. So once again, we are already ready to get underway. There is a little bit of a delay as the athletes get themselves ready. I see the starters in lane 1, just working, rehearsing their starts out of the blocks. We had a couple of ladies just do that just right now.
And if you notice, Joe, you talk about the teams participating. There's nobody in lane 1. Everybody, where we're starting from lane 2, then 3, 4, 5, and 6.
We got white flags all the way around, Mr. Starter. Run them.
Well, there goes the white flag is up, meaning that all the exchanges are ready. So we are ready to get underway and get started here, as this track meet has already been in progress today. But here with KWS, you are picking it up live, beginning with the girls 4x1 100-meter relay. In lane 2, Westlaco. Lane 3, Westlaco East. Lane 4, Harlingen. Lane 5, Harlingen South. And lane 6, it is Donna. So they are all in their blocks. And it looks like a clean start, and they are all underway. And in lane 5, Harlingen South is already making up the stagger. So we'll see who gets the exchange first. And it looks like it's going to be Harlingen South with the first to be out with the exchange. But just on their inside, it is Harlingen making up ground quickly. And that second leg for Harlingen is Valeria Cruz. And they take the baton first in the third leg, and Harlingen has just made their way out in front of everybody. But here comes Westlaco. Calisa Cavazos making up some room, and the exchange to the anchor leg is a clean one for Westlaco. Struggled with Harlingen, but Harlingen is still able to stay in front, and it looks like Harlingen will win this one with Westlaco second, Harlingen South third, and Westlaco East in fourth. So what a good race here to get things started, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's give credit to Valeria Cruz, because she's the one that basically took over this race after she got the handoff on that first handoff there on the far side to us, and got a comfortable lead. And it looked like Westlaco was going to make a run at the end. Alexa Davila was the anchor there, but just came up a little bit short. You talk about athletes that play multiple sports. Alexa Davila played for the Lady Panthers in basketball.
As did Calisa Cavazos. So, we see it, like we mentioned, a lot of these ladies do a lot of multiple things. But, yeah, that third and fourth leg from Westlaco, and as we look at the replay, here we go down the home stretch. And here comes Davila trying to just motor it in, but a great job by the anchor leg for Harlingen, Faith Franklin, because they almost went beyond the exchange level or the line and almost negated themselves an opportunity to finish this race.
And then we see Westlaco East finished in fourth place. I talked to Josh Davis, the head coach, this morning, and he goes, Michael, we lost all seniors last year, so they're rebuilding, and he's just hoping that a few of these girls can finish strong, maybe personal best, maybe have a few that medal. That's his goal in this meet.
Well, we are now getting ready for the boys 4x1 100-meter relay, and let's give you the lane assignments for this one. In lane 1, we are going to have Donna North. In lane 2, it's going to be Donna. In lane 3, Harlingen South. Lane 4 will be Harlingen. Lane 5 will be Mercedes. Lane 6 will be Westlaco. And lane 7 will be Westlaco East. Westlaco East, they will start with Gianni Barrera. Second leg is going to be Jesse James Garcia. Third leg, Joe Lugo, anchored by Abraham Trevino. Westlaco High, it's going to be started off with John Garcia. Alex Esparza will be the second leg. Elias Vela will be the third leg. And the anchor leg will be Maynor Moran. Mercedes, Josiah Cantu will start things off. Second leg, Austin Davila. Third leg, Mike Cisneros. And it's going to be anchored by Jordan Gonzalez. Fourth lane is Harlingen. Pedro Luna, Eric Quintalan, Ezin Zuniga, and Jose Garcia. Lane 3, Harlingen South, it's Fidencio Mesa, Jacob Cano, Elias Ledesma, Aiden Moreno. Donna is in lane 2 with Matthew Lopez, Brian Juarez, Jacob Yanez, Luis Silva. And in lane 1, it's going to be Donna North with Rodrigo Rodriguez, Jose Magdaleno, Andrew Mendoza, and Leonel Izaguirre. So a lot of real familiar names, as we mentioned earlier with the girls. Now we see with the boys, especially with Gianni Barrera and Jesse James Garcia. We see those names a lot. Maynard Moran, we've heard that name a lot. So yeah, Mike, a lot of great athletes on these relay teams for Westlaco and Westlaco East.
Yeah, Gio Barrera was all-state football player for the Westlaco East, the Wildcats, this past season. And you bring up Joe Lugo. There's another guy that played defensive back for the Wildcats this year. And then Abraham Trevino, he's a young man that Coach Owens was telling me that it's new to the team. And he's very excited about him because he says he's looked very good in practice this year and in the first couple of meets they've had.
Well, they're in their blocks as we've got the white flag set already. And they're set. And it looks like a clean start for the boys. 4x100 meter relay, and Mercedes doing a really good job out there in lane 5, making up the stagger. And here we go, the second leg, and looks like Mercedes and Harlingen doing a really good job. Harlingen's second leg doing a fantastic job closing up that gap. So it's Harlingen and Mercedes neck and neck, and Harlingen taking over. And Joe, their final anchor leg is a guy that really excelled at this meet last year. And here comes Jordan Gonzalez along with the anchor leg for Harlingen, which is Jose Garcia. And here comes Westlaco on the outside lane making a move, and it looks like they take over second place. It looks like it's Harlingen, Westlaco, Mercedes. What a great job by Westlaco, the anchor leg, Maynard Moran, who when we were not even looking, he just kind of just creeped up on our screen and overtook second place, and we'll wait for the final results. But from our angle, what a great job there by Westlaco.
Yeah, we'll wait and see what the final results are as we see the replay
here. But here we go,
here.
the replay.
And if you notice, Joe, it looks like Harlingen and Mercedes are 1 and 2, but then just watch that young man just kind of sneak into the camera. Well, we see the shot there of Harlingen. Let's give credit to the young man, Eric Quintan from Harlingen. Once again, it's that second runner that just kind of took over the race a little bit. And then we see, ooh.
It looks like Westlaco by the hair of the chinny chin chin.
And if you notice, Joe, how he snuck his head in, that's what the coaches teach you to do, to just put your head down once you get close to that finish line. And yes, it does look like the Panthers finished in second place. So Harlingen, Joe, as we mentioned, a very strong boys track team they have. I know they won the last couple of meets, the Jimmy Platt Invitational. I think they're aiming for their third straight championship or first place finish here. And coach Gus Cabrera, in talking to him this morning, told me that Harlingen has everybody back from last year.
Yeah, I was about to say that same thing. They had a lot of young guys, sophomores and juniors last year, and I remember that vividly. And that's why I said what I said with the anchor leg with Joe Garcia, a name that we mentioned quite a bit last year in this same meet.
Yeah, I think they have a couple of guys that went to state last year that were state qualifiers. So just you have a combination of talent, and then you have experience, and then you have that expectations that, hey, we know that we're the best, or we know that we're expected to do well, and they just kind of come in with confidence already.
So we'll wait for those results to come in, as you guys already saw the replay, and we're going to get ready for the girls' 800-meter run. And in lane 1, a name that I think everybody in the state of Texas is very familiar with, Amity Ebarb. She is coming in lane 1 with the best time in the 800, 2 minutes, 17.15 seconds. Second lane is going to be, well, actually the second listing, because they're going to put them in different lanes by pairs, is going to be Destiny Longoria, another young lady from Westlaco, and Ana Vela, also from Westlaco. Natalie Basan of Westlaco East is in there as well. Jasmine Mireles out of Ed Couch Elsa. Glendy Hernandez from Dana High. And then it's going to be Ashley Garcia, Gloria Venegas from Dana North. Randy Lara from Mercedes. Stephanie Mendoza, Westlaco East. Eileen Campos, Angeles de la Garza from Dana High School. Julie Callanan from Ed Couch Elsa, Ayana Olivas of Harlingen, Cyan Alanis from Progreso, Angelina Perales from Mercedes, Kelsey Rodriguez, Harlingen, Jocelyn Gonzalez from Dana North, Brianna Rivas from Harlingen, and Diani Garcia from Progreso. So they've got them already set up in groups of 5. And that's how we'll get things started. And remember, they cannot break until they get to the other side of the first curb. So they'll be running in these lanes at the start throughout the first, give or take 110 meters. That's when they'll be able to make their move to the inside.
Yeah, you bring up Amity Ebarb. That's a name we are going to miss after this year. What a phenomenal career she's had. Last year as a junior, her season was cut short, unfortunately, due to the pandemic there, but she's going to represent Weslaco starting next year at UT Austin. Yeah, she's going to be a future Longhorn there, participating in cross country and track. And as we saw earlier this year, she's a state qualifier in cross country.
We are ready to start.
In talking to, I'll go to another nugget that Coach Amaguer told me as we get ready for the race.
Yeah, hang on to that nugget right there, Mike, because we are just about to get underway here in the girls' 800-meter run. They are setting them up to their starting positions. They are set, and there's a gun, and we've got a clean start. And as we mentioned, we've got to wait for them to get across the first 110 meters, more or less, the first curb, and then they will make their way into lane 1, and then we will get them beginning to start out their stride. And who is out in front getting the pace going? None other than Amity Ebarb. Mike, you mentioned you had a nugget you want to share with us. You want to go ahead and reveal that nugget?
Yeah, Coach Almaguer told me that Amity has never lost an 800-meter or a 400-meter race here in the Rio Grande Valley in her career, which is phenomenal, outstanding. And I mean, keep in mind, that she, again, last year in her junior year, the season was cut short, but nevertheless, that's just an outstanding nugget to mention there. That just knowing that she owns the Rio Grande Valley when it comes to races, and we can see why. We see right here why and how she dominates.
Yeah, she has already got 50 meters, if not more, on the pack, and she's about to get underway here on the second lap of the 800-meter run.
And as a matter of fact, Joe, 2 years ago as a sophomore, she was a regional champion in both the 800 and 400-meter race.
Yeah.
And then last year as a junior, they participated in 5 meets. She won them all.
So here we go. Amity Ebarb, with less than 300 meters to go, is already ahead of the pack by at least 40 meters, maybe 50 meters. And she is getting ready to come around to about the 200-meter mark, where we've got Coach Pablo Almaguer rooting his senior on. And it looks like we've got Amity Ebarb, who's going to finish this one strong. And we'll see how close she is to the record, because she was running really, really well. And here she comes down the home stretch. And looks like we've got Destiny Longoria in second and Ana Vela in third. So it looks like it's going to be a Weslaco 1-2-3 finish.
And as a matter of fact, Joe, the record is 2:14.42 that Amity set in 2019. So let's see where she finishes.
Yeah, it's right there on your screen in case you were wondering. Here comes Amity, and we'll see what the time is as she finishes. But she comes across the finish line first place, and here comes Destiny along with Ana Vela. So it looks like it's going to be a 1-2-3 finish for Weslaco. And we got a young lady from Harlingen coming on strong in fourth place, and another lady from Harlingen trying to overtake fifth place. So Weslaco, it's 1-2-3, and Harlingen 4 and 5. So what a great way to finish off the 800-meter here at the Jimmy Platt Invitational with a 1-2-3 finish for Weslaco.
Yeah, we talk about Amity Ebarb and how great she is. They also have Destiny Longoria, another senior who's had a awesome career in the track and field. And when talking to Coach Amaguer, and he mentions Destiny Longoria, it's like, hey, if you're going to finish in second place, it might as well be to somebody like Amity Ebarb, right? But Destiny Longoria, another phenomenal runner for the squad.
But you got to look at it this way too, Mike. You've got someone of the caliber of Amity Ebarb, who you practice with day in and day out. That just makes everyone around her better, because if you look at it, it was 1-2-3 Weslaco.
Yeah, that's an excellent point, and I think that's something Coach Amaguer really emphasizes as well. It's just watch Amity here, just the way she makes it look so easy. She's done it all her life. Just she loves running. She has a passion for it, and you just look at her. It looks like she doesn't look tired at all. And it's hot out there. It's windy. She's going against the wind when she's running from from north to south, because that's how Bobby Lackey Stadium is. And so I know that last 100 meters is a challenge for all these runners, but just, that's why you build that huge lead, because you when you come around that last lap, that last 100 meters, you're going up against Mother Nature now.
And up next is going to be the boys 800-meter run. So let's give you a rundown of those athletes. From west to co-east, it's going to be René Tamés. Down north has Oscar Salas, Progreso Rodolfo Sandoval, Tanny Collins of Edcouch Elsa, Stephen Ortegon of Harlingen South, Fernando Quintanilla of Harlingen, Kevin Hernandez from Dana, Jesus Garza from Westaco East, Jeremiah Cano, Harlingen South, along with Gabriel Rosales. From Westaco, it's going to be Dylan Rodriguez. Edcouch Elsa is going to have running this event as well, is going to be Jesus Contreras. Jordan Gomez of Mercedes, Aaron Mateo from Dana, Damian Fuentes from Dana as well. Christopher Martinez at Cauchelsa, Anthony Anciso, Westaco, Andrew Cortez, Mercedes, Nathan Rubio, Dana North, Benjamin Rubio, Dana North, Jared Cavazos, Westaco, Brandon Salinas, Mercedes, and Abel Montante of Harlingen. It looks like the starter has already got everybody in place. The white flag is going up, and so the starter is just about set to get everybody started here in the boys 800-meter dash.
We talk about state qualifiers in cross country, Joe. We got another one here for Westaco ISD. René Tamés represented the Wildcats in the state level this year and had an outstanding career. As a matter of fact, Coach Owens told me that he's on his way to run at Montreat College. I hope I pronounced it right. Montreat College, based out of North Carolina. They're an NAIA school. Very good program because he's interested in cybersecurity, and that's what they're known for. So, yeah, congratulations to him.
Yeah, congratulations to René Tamés. And so we are underway in the boys 800-meter dash. The record is 1:56.52 set in 2002. And that looks like René Tamés out there getting the pace set.
Yeah, we had a great time spending. We spent time with René Tamés leading up to that state qualifying meet. He was practicing out in, I believe it's Valley Nature Center, or what do they call it, off of 1015, that park over there.
Estero Llano Grande.
There you go, Estero Llano Grande, a perfect place to go and practice over there, and spend good quality time with him. A good young man, well-spoken, very smart, very bright. Coach Owens was very proud of him.
Young man from Edcouch is now Donna North, is setting the pace for the boys 800-meter run. And we've got a young man from Harlingen South in second place. So here we go. Second lap of the boys 800-meter run.
I got some results here, Joe. We can mention here the 4x100-meter relay. We got third place Harlingen South. Second place was Westaco High, and in first place was Harlingen High with a time of 51:21.
Good running there by those young men.
Okay, and then for the girls 4x100-meter relay, we got fourth place Westaco East. You got third place Harlingen South. Second place Westaco High. And first place is Harlingen High with a time of 51:21. Oh, I beg your pardon. It's the same one. They handed me two girls. I thought it was the boys and girls. They handed me the girls' results.
Well, they were almost the same.
They're almost the same.
Looks like the young man from Donna North is going to finish first. And that would be Oscar Salas, finishing first in the boys 800-meter run. He is the second fastest time coming into today's meet. And we'll see what the times are for these young men here in the boys 800-meter run. We'll get you guys the results in just a little bit. But in the meantime, I have a copy of the girls 800-meter run. In fourth place was Ayana Olivas of Harlingen with a time of 2:40.52. In third place was Anabella of Westaco with a time of 2:38.01. In second place was Destiny Longoria with a time of 2:29.95. And of course, the winner of the girls' 800-meter run was Amity Ebar, missing her record by a second with a time of 2:15.72.
Okay, now I have the boys 4x100 meter relay results. In fourth place is Harlingen South. In third place was Mercedes. Second place was Weslaco. And in first place with a time of 43:35 was Harlingen High School.
Well, we're watching the replay. Donna North and Oscar Salas wins it. And it looks like the young man from Progreso finished second, with Harlingen South finishing third. And again, we'll get you those official results in just a little while. But before we get to those results, we're going to let you guys know that the next event is going to be the girls' 100-meter hurdles. And we've got two sets of finals. We're going to have a Section 1 and a Section 2. So we'll be having two heats of the girls' 100-meter hurdles finals.
And just to let the audience know, Joe, the schools that are participating in this event, just let the audience know the schools participating in this meet, Joe, is Harlingen South, Ecalchelsa, Mercedes, Harlingen High School, Donna High, Donna North, Weslaco High, Weslaco East, and Progreso.
Once again, it is a Mid-Valley Classic, so that's why you see all these towns that are, for the most part, right here, not too far from here. I think Harlingen is only 12 minutes up the road from here. Awesome.
All right, we're down to the field here, K-West, and we have Miss Emma Arndt, who just got first place in the long jump. Emma, how does it feel?
It feels really good. I got close to my PR today, and it's a windy day, so it felt good.
What has been working for you this year? You had a little bit of wind this time around. Talk to me a little bit about the process today.
Well, the main focus today was just getting up off the board and making sure I was on my mark, and then finishing strong with my finish. And the win, you kind of have to just forget about it and focus on what you can do yourself, so that's what I did.
Emma Arndt is not only a gold winner today, but she's also on her way to West Point. How does that feel?
It's really exciting, but I'm pretty nervous too. It took a while to get the acceptance, but after I did, it felt really good.
Congratulations on a great accomplishment.
Thank you so much.
Emma Arndt, one of those names that has been shared for several years here at Weslaco. She's really excelled in a lot of events, and she's also the younger sister of a vaquero track runner.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. I actually got to know Emma Arndt a little bit on a personal level because we both work part-time at HEB right across the parking lot over here. And she told me since the beginning of school that her goal is to sign with West Point Military Academy, and she met that goal. And so when I ran into her during the field event, said, we had a small little conversation there. She was just very happy. She's very excited. She's looking forward to it. And she'll be leaving in June, right after graduation. I think it was like June 26th, somewhere around there, where she's going to make her way over there. And she's going to represent Weslaco High School at West Point Military Academy.
Well, congratulations to her, and we'll continue to see her being successful in every area of her life, because that's just the kind of young lady that she is. So, again, our next event is going to be the girls' 100-meter hurdles. And in Section 1, it's going to be Sydney Portillo of Harlingen in Lane 1. In Lane 2, it's going to be Leah Menel of Harlingen. In Lane 3, it's Yasael Lopez of Donna. In Lane 4, Nathalie Aguilar of Donna. In Lane 5, it's going to be Vida Ibarra from Ecalchelsa. And in Lane 6, it's Milka Tinajero of Harlingen. And in Lane 7, it'll be Melida Trevino of Ecalchelsa.
And correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but the reason why they're having the event on the far side is because the wind is blowing from the south to the north. So that means when the runners begin the race, so they'll be going with the wind.
Also, they're a little protected from the wind as well because it is gusting because it's a little bit out of the east as well. So it's coming from east to west. If you just kind of look over to your left shoulder, you'll see the palm trees kind of coming in our direction. So that's another reason as well. So that's partly of the reasons that they put them on that side because they get a little bit of protection from the stadium bleachers on the other side.
Right, and the sun is still shining bright right above us. So, yeah, it's kind of, there's still with the sun out there versus here to the near side, there's a little bit more shade here. So they'll be kind of dealing with the elements a little bit, but at least they'll be going with the wind versus against the wind, correct?
Yeah. And I'm going to be honest with you. These winds, when they gust, they get pretty violent. We went riding our bicycles last night, and we were on the levees. And those winds, when they gust, they do push you, and that it could be hazardous as well. So.
And March is always a time of year where it's the windiest here in the Rio Grande Valley. That's when it's allergy season and things like that because of the wind. We see gusts of like up to 40, sometimes even 50 miles an hour on some days. And today, as we mentioned earlier, it's pretty windy out there. Started at the beginning of the meet, it's at 17, but it gusts up to, see the camera shaking there a little bit, but yeah, I mean, it can gust over 20, 30 miles an hour.
Yeah, I would guess that there have been some wind gusts in upwards of 30 miles an hour this afternoon. And so again, like we mentioned, we got the first section of our finals in the girls 100 meter, and in section 2, let's go ahead and give you those names really quick. Okay, we're about to get started here from what it looks like because the flag is up, but we've got the ladies practicing their starts. But in the second section, we'll just give you the names real quick, and then we'll give you the schools and all that when they get ready to run. It's going to be Aicha Garza, Clarisa Jaramillo, Barbara Rodriguez, Denise Acuna, Alexis Hernandez, and Leah Adame, and Cristina Hernandez. So that way, if those of you guys that are viewing are wondering, well, how come my princess is not being mentioned? Well, because we do have two sections, so now you know if they're in section 1 or in section 2. But we were just handed the finals, Mike.
This is the boys 800 meter run. In fourth place was Natani Collins out of Ecalchosa. In third place was Stephen Ortegon out of Harlingen South. And in second place was Rodolfo Sandoval out of Progreso. And your first place winner with a time of 2:05.61 was Oscar Salinas out of Donna North. Congratulations.
Congratulations. And here comes the first section of our girls 100 meter hurdles, and they're off. And in lane 1, Sydney Portillo of Harlingen seems to have the early lead and is out in front of everyone, along with a young lady from Harlingen in lane 2 as well, and that's going to be Leah Menel. And lane 1, Sydney Portillo, followed by Menel. And in third place, looks like it was Jazael Lopez. So we'll have those final results in just a bit.
Pretty clean race there. We saw the young ladies clear each hurdle there. I think we had maybe one that fell down, but other than that, it was a pretty clean race. So a great job by all the girls. They finished strong and did very well.
So let's go ahead and give you the lane assignments and schools they represent of the second section of the girls 100 meter hurdles. In lane 1, Aicha Garza of Donna. In lane 2, Clarisa Jaramillo of Westlaco East. In lane 3, it's Barbara Rodriguez of Donna North. In lane 4, Denise Acuna of Donna North as well. And in lane 5, Alexis Hernandez, another Donna North representative. Lane 6, Leah Adame of Mercedes. And in lane 7, Cristina Hernandez of Elsa.
And I have here, Joe, the results of the girls' discus throw that took place earlier today. In fourth place was Kaylee Trantham out of Ecalchosa. In third place was Angelina Condanosa out of Harlingen High. And in second place was Araceli Moreno out of Wasco High. And in first place with a throw of a 107.02 was Lynette Villarviar out of Mercedes High School. Congratulations.
So great job there for the discus throwers. So we want to congratulate all those athletes doing a good job this morning in the field events.
Yeah, that's right. I was hanging out there earlier today watching the shot put and the discus. I even came out here to the high jump, and it was very exciting to watch all the events there and the athletes competing against one another. And, and what I like, Joe, is that I see a lot of these athletes cheering each other on despite, whether they're in another high school, in another community, and they're still cheering each other on. They're giving they're exchanging fist bumps and little things like that, and that's what you want to see.
You really want to see people do their best, regardless. I think that's just the inner heart of each and every one of us. Is we want everybody to do their best. And I'm going to be honest with you, as an athlete, as a competitor, I'm pretty sure that they want to win where everybody is doing their best, because they want to be the best of the best.
Absolutely. And you know what? You bring that point up. That's exactly what Coach Owens told me from Wesco East. He goes, for us, Mike, it's about doing our best, and the results will take care of itself. And, Wesco East, how they dropped from 6A to 5A. So this is the first time that they go up against, like, the Harlingen schools this year, against Wesco High, against Harlingen South. So it's a measuring stick in a way of see where he's at in that kind of level. But at the same time, he's just like, hey, we just want to do our best. We're focused on us. He's familiar with ECA Chelsea, having participated in the ECA Chelsea meet.
Well, it looks like the second section of the girls 100-meter finals is set to get underway. The girls are in their blocks. They are set, and looks like a clean start. Out on top is Adame from Mercedes. Down in the middle, it looks like the young lady from Donna North, Alexis Hernandez, is just taking a lead. And we got Donna North out on top of your screen. So there is the end results. The record for the girls 100-meter hurdles is 14.4 seconds, as you just saw on your screen there.
We have the results of the girls pole.
All right, here down to the field with Caden Fakis, first place in the high jump. How does it feel?
It's pretty good, actually. I haven't been in track for a good year and a half, so it feels really good, actually. I came in with my ankle kind of acting up, but it didn't get in the way. I just went through it and listened to Coach Woolery, good guy, and did what he told me, and it helped out at the end. And I was kind of nervous, but Coach Woolery really helped me. So.
And how has your season been so far this year? Your senior year, how has it been in the high jump?
Pretty good, actually. For not jumping for a while, not too bad, really. Just felt like riding a bike, yeah. Just got back into the groove and won it today.
All right, well, congratulations, first place in the high jump.
Well, Mike, we were talking about the wind earlier, and Carlos, with the interview with that young man from Harlingen who won the high jump event, you could tell just how ferocious that wind is today.
Yeah, you can hear it in the interview there. The air of the wind there during the interview, and the athletes, they had to make an adjustment. Even in the events like the high jump, I mean, they have to, kind of measure themselves a certain way, or maybe part of the strategy would be to wait till the wind dies down before you run, or what I mean. There's little tricks to it. But I thought, to me, Joe, the hardest was the discus throw, because I watched some of those discus throw, and I noticed that a few of them, when they threw it, it looked like it was going to kind of stay out of bounds, and then it kind of flew back in. You know what I mean? Kind of like when you toss a Frisbee, when you throw it and it goes maybe to your right, and then it kind of turns back toward the middle. You know what I mean? That's what happened in a few of those throws. So a lot of strategy involved in events like that.
I can just imagine, just like you said, Mike, those discus are probably coming right back in, and they've got some weight to them in order to be moving like that. That wind has got to be really, really rough. Our next event is going to be the boys 110-meter hurdles. Yes, that's right, 110. The girls run 100 meters. The boys do 110. And we have two sets of finals as we did with the girls. In our first section, lane 3 is going to be Carlos Roman representing Wesco East. Adrian Morales in lane 4 from ECA Chelsea. Caleb Conde from Harlingen will be in lane 5. And another Wesco East Wildcat in lane 6. And that's going to be Jonathan Granados. In the section 2 of this final, we'll have Alexis Rodriguez, Fernando Mendez, Randall Lopez, Devin Tagle, Jonathan Lugo, and Elias Rodriguez. But again, section 1 is set to get underway.
And the record, Joe, in this event is 14:69, set by Donna High's Vince Castillo, who was a state champion, I believe, in this event, wasn't he? I believe it was this event, or if I could be wrong, but nevertheless, an outstanding athlete from Donna. The record was set back in 2014, and he moved on to run in Mississippi, I believe Mississippi State.
Yes, and he's excelling in college as well. And I know we had an interview, and here we go in the boys 110-meter hurdles, and it looks like there's only 2 young men running in this event. Record 14.69, as you just mentioned, has just come across your screen. We got a gentleman from West Laquis and a gentleman from Edcal Chelsea. And that's going to be Jonathan Granados and Adrian Morales. And it looks like Granados is going to take that one.
100-meter dash runners, please report to the clerk of the court. Girls, 100-meter dash runners.
So again, you know, we do have events in which, you know, some of these young men are participating in earlier events, may have injured themselves. So here comes Granados, a name that we're all so familiar with from our football days.
Outstanding career for representing the Wildcats. Wildcats co-district champion, I believe. They shared it with the McAllen Memorial, correct? Yeah. And then they won a playoff game this year again by district champion. And the tradition continues for the Wildcats on the football field. And we see these athletes bringing their talents in other sports, including track.
Well, the second of 2 sections here in the boys 110-meter hurdle finals event is going to be lane 2, Alexis Rodriguez from Edcal Chelsea, Fernando Mendez of Westlaco, Randall Lopez of Harlingen South, Devin Taglit also of Harlingen South. In lane 6, Jonathan Lugo of Edcal Chelsea, and in lane 7 it's going to be Elias Rodriguez of Harlingen South.
And with me, Joe, I have the results of the girls' pole vault here as we wait for the race to start. In 4th place was Haley Guzman out of Edcal Chelsea. And then we have a tie for 2nd place, Stephanie Almanzan out of Wasco High, and Mackenzie Abrego out of Harlingen South. And then your 1st place winner with a jump of 10 feet, clearing 10 feet, is Daniela Maximo. So congratulations to her.
Well, it looks like we're going to have 3 gentlemen from Harlingen South, along with 1 gentleman, which is Fernando Mendez of Westlaco. So we've got lanes 2, 4, 5, and 7 on the track here in the boys 110-meter hurdle finals. So they are in their blocks. Started getting them ready to go. Looks like it's a clean start. And we've got Randall Lopez, Devin Tagle, and Fernando Mendez of Westlaco all neck and neck. It looks like Mendez is just taking the lead now. It looks like Lopez has just overtaken them. And it's going to be Lopez, Mendez, and Tagle finishing this 110-meter hurdle boys Section 2 final. So what a good race there. Really tight, where we saw a little bit of first place running out of Fernando Mendez, and it looked like right on his inside we had Lopez take over just there at the end, because right here we see Mendez over the hurdle to begin with, and then right inside of him is Randall Lopez, who seems to have maybe half a step in front of him, and then we got Tagle in lane 5 also coming into the mix as well.
I want to say, Joe, that it was probably after the 5th hurdle that we saw Lopez kind of take over the race there and was able to hang on after that, but a great job by those 3 young men kind of going against one another, and a fantastic job by Fernando Mendez. It looked like he finished in 2nd place, correct? In 3rd place.
Well, according to our angle, it's going to be difficult to tell because we got a little different angle, but it looked like Tagle may have taken over right at the end, because Lopez was hanging on just to finish, as you mentioned. It looked like Tagle came on strong there at the end to overtake Mendez, but again, it was really tight, really close, and we'll wait for the final results to come in. And our next event event is going to be the girls 100-meter dash. And we've got 3 sections in the finals of the girls 100-meter dash. And we'll go ahead and just run through them really quick, and then we'll give you lane assignments and school representations in just a bit. In section 1, we'll have Sofia Piscina, Miranda Rodea, Emma Cedillo, JC Cáceres, Stephanie Almazan, Ashley Garcia, and Paloma Gallardo. In section 2, we'll have Camila Mendoza, Lauren Reckward, Alejandra Ochoa, Jamie Flores, Nicole Moreno, Daniela Maximo, and Giovanni Cáceres. And in section 3, it'll be Zalia Washington, Maya Puga, Davina Gutierrez, Faith Franklin, Valeria Cruz, Areli Vasquez, and Haley Guzman. Those are the 3 sections and the competitors of each section. In section 1, let's go to give you the lane and school representation. In lane 1, Sofia Pesina of Progreso High School. In lane 2, it'll be Miranda Rodea of Ed Couch Elsa High School. In lane 3, Emma Cedillo of Dana High School. In lane 4, JC Cáceres of Westlaco East. In lane 5, Stephanie Almazan of Westlaco. In lane 6, Ashley Garcia of Westlaco East. And in lane 7, Paloma Gallardo of Dana North. So Westlaco and Westlaco East are sending some top athletes here in section 1, all with some very good times.
And what I really like, Joe, is that you mentioned there's 3 sections to this race, and so that tells you like it's not going to be just 7 or 8 runners. We're going to see multiple athletes participate, and that's what you want to see. So that's what 24 names given out, or 21 actually, 21 names that you mentioned there that they all just get a chance to participate. You know, for some of these girls, they just want to PR. Get their personal best and kind of take some momentum into maybe the next meet or into district.
Absolutely, and this is a great time to compete against some really top-notch athletes. You know, as we mentioned, you know, we got some really good schools in this meet and some really good record that have been set at this meet. So you know that there are some good competitors and great top-notch athletes that always show up here at the Jimmy Platt Invitational. So again, section 1, section 2, and section 3 of the girls 100-meter dash just about to get underway. They've already cleared out all the hurdles, so we're just moments away from getting started. And this will be followed by the boys, and the boys also will see 3 sections as well.
Yeah, a great job by the staff, Joe, getting the hurdles out that fast. I mean, because we just kind of move from one race to the next, and you know, these guys got to get out there and get the hurdles out as quick as possible.
So it looks like section 1 is set to get underway. The girls are in the blocks. Set. Looks like we didn't have the starter with any blanks in his gun.
There we go. I think we're ready now.
Steffi Almazan for Westlaco High is in lane 5. Ashley Garcia, Westlaco East, is in lane 6. Back to the starting blocks. Set, and looks like a clean start. And Ashley Garcia of Westlaco East out in front. Also, along with her is Paloma Gallardo of Dana North. So from Westlaco East, it's Ashley Garcia pulling away, and it looks like she will come away as the winner, followed by Paloma Gallardo of Dana North, and then Stephanie Almazan of Westlaco High. So a good race there by Ashley Garcia. She came out of this blocks really strong. So here comes a replay. We'll see the last 30 meters of this race, but look at Garcia, and just hanging on strong on their outside is the young lady from Dana North, Paloma Gallardo, but Garcia just a little too strong.
Yeah, it looked like Paloma Gallardo from Dana North was making her move toward the end, but give credit to Ashley Garcia. We talked about Westlaco East and how young they are. I mean, we don't know where Ashley Garcia is going to finish overall, but Coach Davis has to be happy that, hey, that she had one of her runners at least win a section. of the 100-meter dash. And, that's the little things like that, Joe, is what we're talking about. We just want to take something forward, for the next event or the next invitational. And, he's rebuilding with about 7 or 8 sophomores on the team. So, that's a good sign right there.
Well, Section 2, let's give you the rundown of the lane assignments and the schools that they do represent. In Lane 1, it's going to be Camila Mendoza from Donna North. In Lane 2, Lauren Reckward of Harlingen South. In Lane 3, Alejandra Ochoa, Donna North. In Lane 4, Jamie Flores of Mercedes. In Lane 5, Nicole Moreno, Donna High School. Lane 6, Daniela Maximo, Harlingen South. And in Lane 7, Giovanni Casares of Westlaco East. And some really good times in this section as well. Leading the pack as far as times that have been turned in this group is going to be Lane 4, Jamie Flores, 13.74, and then Nicole Moreno, 13.81, followed by Alejandra Ochoa, 13.96, and Daniela Maximo, 13.97. So some really good athletes in Section 2. So this is going to be a good one. So the girls are getting into their blocks. Set, and they're off, and it looks like a good clean start. And the young lady from Donna High School, Nicole Moreno, looked to get out of the blocks first, and here comes Flores of Mercedes taking over in this race. And it looks like it's going to be Flores from Mercedes, and in second place Moreno from Donna. So that was a good race there.
Yeah, outstanding job there by the young lady from Mercedes, coming on strong in the last 50 meters there. She started off about second or third place. We see the replay there. And, Donna was ahead the first half of it, but you see that young lady there just come on strong there toward the end. And I was going to say put her head down, but didn't quite do that, but yet still won the section of the race.
Yeah, so good job there. Good run there displayed by Jamie Flores of Mercedes and Nicole Moreno of Donna, first and second respectively in Section 2. So we're going to get ready for Section 3. And in Section 3, we're going to have Zalia Washington of Donna High School, Maya Poe of Westlaco High School, Davina Gutierrez of Harlingen High School will be in Lane 3. Faith Franklin of Harlingen High School will be in Lane 4. Valeria Cruz of Harlingen in Lane 5. Areli Vasquez of Edcauchelsa in Lane 6. And Haley Guzman of Edcauchelsa in Lane 7. So some names that we heard in the relays from Harlingen will be represented here in Section 3, one of them being Faith Franklin, the anchor leg of the Harlingen 4x100 meter girls team.
Yeah, and I got some results here, Joe, after the girls 100 meter hurdles. We got fourth place Barbara Rodriguez out of Donna North. In third place is Aisha Garza out of Donna. In second place is Alexis Hernandez out of Donna North. And your first place winner with a time of 18:17 is a Sydney Portillo out of Harlingen High. Also worth mentioning, after 12 events, we have Westlaco High leading with 121 points. And in second place is Harlingen with 102 points. So about a 19-20 point difference there. And in third place is Harlingen South with 71 points. So that's Westlaco in first place after 12 events.
Westlaco continues their dominance in this Billy Platt Invitational. So here we go, the third section of this 100 meter dash girls division. We got a false start. And as they discuss this, we'll wait to see what the results are. Red flag is up, so we are at a stoppage.
Yeah, the way it works, Joe, is that you see the runners when they get ready, you'll hear them say "runner set," and then you see the gun up a little bit. But what they first do is say "runner set," and then that's when you'll see them kind of lift their leg up a little bit, and then you'll hear the gun sound, and then that's when they go.
Yeah, I would always count 1001, 1002. That's about the time that they would normally hit the gun. So we're back for a second attempt of the start. And this time we do have a clean start, and it looks like Harlingen in first and second, and that's going to be Faith Franklin and Valeria Cruz in first and second place. For Weslaco, we've got Maya Poo, and first and second is going to go to Harlingen, Franklin, and Cruz.
We have
So good
three
time
heats
there
in
by
the boys
Harlingen. Good
100 meter
representation
dash.
of Harlingen
Heat
High
number
School
1.
100-meter dash.
Yeah,
Lane
right off the
2,
bat, Joe,
Giancarlo
as soon as the gun
Ortiz.
sounded, that we saw those two young ladies just kind of take over the race there. So we knew that Harlingen was going to win the race. It was just a matter of which runner. And you mentioned Maya Poo from Wasco High. Looked like she finished in third place there.
Charlie Hughes at Calchelsea.
So great job there by the ladies and the girls 100-meter dash. And up next is going to be the boys 100-meter dash. And we've got 3 sections, as we mentioned earlier, for those athletes as well. So I'm going to go through all 21 athletes, and then we'll give you guys the lane assignments and schools they represent via the section. So in section 1, we'll have Giancarlo Ortiz, Jordan Gonzalez, Nathan Gutierrez, Giovanni Barrera, Charlie Hughes, and Josiah Cantu. In section 2, Alejandro Sanchez, Ricardo Rodriguez, Javier Sanchez, Devin Montemayor, John Garcia, Alex Esparza, Jacob Yanez, and Gael Romo. In section 3, Manny Hernandez, Esvin Zuniga, Adrian Cavazos, Jose Garcia, Joe Maldonado, Derek Alvarez, Jeremiah Rivera, and Luis Hernandez. So section 1, we got Giancarlo Ortiz in lane 2 from Weslaco East. Lane 3, Jordan Gonzalez of Mercedes. Lane 4, Nathan Gutierrez of Harlingen. Lane 5, Giovanni Barrera of Weslaco East. Lane 6, Charlie Hughes of Ed Chelsea. And in lane 7, Josiah Cantu of Mercedes.
And I got the results here, Joe, of the boys 110-meter hurdles. In fourth place, we have Elias Rodriguez out of Harlingen South. In third place was Fernando Mendez out of Weslaco High. In second place was Devin Tagle Tagle, here we go, from Harlingen South. Thank you, Joe. Your first place winner was Randall Lopez out of Harlingen South with a time of 17:01. And after 13 events, we got Weslaco High with 127 points. And then we have Harlingen High with 102 points. And Harlingen South with 93 points. So great job by Gus Cabrera and his group so far.
Doing a good job there. And so one name that we've heard throughout the whole entire school year is a name that is in lane 5, Giovanni Barrera. Seems that every time we turn on K-West, this young man is doing something. And what a great athlete. We see him on the football field, the basketball court. Now we see him here on the track.
Yeah, and when I'm watching a football game and you hear Giovanni's name, it feels like he's always intercepting a pass. He was involved on defense, making great plays there, helping the Wildcats to the co-district championship and a bi-district championship.
And for many years, too, we mentioned that name. So here we go. Section 1 of the boys 100-meter dash. I want to remind you there are 3 sections. We've gone through the athletes' names, and we'll got section 1 just about to get underway here. Runners are in their blocks. Set. And it looks like we've got a clean start. And out on top, we've got a young man from Mercedes. And that's going to be Josiah Cantu. Josiah Cantu looks like he's going to finish in first, followed by the young man from Ed Chelsea, Charlie Hughes. And it looked like Giancarlo Ortiz from Weslaco East may have finished in third. So great job there by Cantu and Hughes, finishing first and second out on the top of your screen. So here's the replay. So yeah, Ortiz down here on the bottom of your screen, he may have finished in second. So we'll wait for those final results as well. So here is the second section of this 3-section final of the boys 100-meter dash. In lane 1, it's going to be Alejandro Sanchez of Dana. In lane 2, Ricardo Rodriguez of Dana. In lane 3, Javier Sanchez of Mercedes. In lane 4, Devin Montemayor of Harlingen South. In lane 5, John Garcia of Westlaco. In lane 6, Alex Esparza of Westlaco. In lane 7, Jacob Yanez of Dana. And lane 8, Gael Romo of Westlaco East. So another name that we've mentioned quite a bit throughout our K-West broadcasting, Gael Romo, basketball player, young sophomore if I recall correctly.
A good young man there, a lot to build from moving forward. I mean, we have the rest of his sophomore year and junior year,
I
his
may
senior
be
year.
wrong, but if I recall correctly,
but nevertheless, he played basketball,
Right.
and they made the playoffs this past year.
they
So
did. So a great job there.
Great job.
by the brand new head coach for Westlaco East.
Zeke Rodriguez.
Zeke Rodriguez.
Yeah, Westlaco alumni, had a successful career in high school, and then as a coach, he was under Gabe Valdez for a number of years at Wesco High, I think, and then he moved on to Donna and had success in Donna, made the playoffs, and then now he's back at WISD and took the Wildcats to the playoffs. So, yeah, the future looks bright for the program and a great start for Coach Rodriguez as a head coach.
So here we go. Second section of the finals are in their blocks. And they're off clean start. And inside, looks like John Garcia in lane 5 from Westlaco has got an early lead. And there on his neck and neck is Alex Esparza. So a good finish there for Westlaco. Westlaco with John Garcia and Alex Esparza really doing a great job there in that race. So it looks like John Garcia may have finished first there. We'll see the replay here. Here it comes. So here comes Garcia and Esparza. Garcia with a great finish there to finish first, and second was Esparza. Great job there by the Westlaco Panthers in Section 2.
Yeah, they're doing very well so far in this meet. We mentioned how Harlingen High has won the last couple of Jimmy Platt Invitationals. So, the Panthers, coming out here and saying, hey, we want that streak to end. We want to be the winners today. And wouldn't that be something if Wesco High, boys and girls, can come out on top today? That would be a great day for WISD.
Well, Section 3 is about to get underway, so let's go ahead and give you the lane assignments for Section 3 of the boys' 100-meter dash. In lane 1 of Edcouch Chelsea, Manny Hernandez. In lane 2 from Harlingen, Esvin Zuniga. In lane 3, Adrian Cavazos of Progreso. In lane 4, Jose Garcia of Harlingen. In lane 5, Joe Maldonado of Westlaco. In lane 6, Derek Alvarez of Harlingen South. In lane 7, Jeremiah Rivera of Harlingen South. In lane 8, Luis Hernandez of Edcouch Elsa. Joe Maldonado sounds like a name that we've mentioned like every year for the last 10 years. This young man has really done well in track over the years for Westlaco. He's done a great job just, continuing to add to point totals for the Westlaco Panthers.
Yeah, and talking to Coach Gus Cabrera, he's telling me that Joel's having an outstanding year, that he's finished in first place in the 100 and 200 meter races. As a matter of fact, that he finished first at the Mission Veterans meet, which took place a few weeks ago, and also placed first in the Mission Veterans meet in the 200, and also at the MAC High meet. So a lot of speed.
Yeah. Like I said, this is a young man that we've mentioned his name many a times in track and field. But he's got his work cut out for him with the guy that is to his left, and that's going to be Jose Garcia of Harlingen. That young man has got the fastest time so far this year in 10.7. And if I'm not mistaken, he holds a record here at the Jimmy Platt Invitational.
Last year.
Right.
Last year it was set at 10.65. So let's see if that young man can break his own record. So he comes in with a preliminary time at 10.70. So, we'll see. We'll see if he can beat that today.
So the young men are in their lanes, and now they are heading to their blocks. So lanes 4 and 5 are two men that you want to keep your eye on. Jose Garcia and Joe Maldonado. Garcia of Harlingen, Maldonado of Westlaco.
Well, it looks like they're still letting them warm up a little bit there.
Yeah, they making sure that they all have their blocks set up properly because you've got 3 different races, and so each different race they've got to set up the blocks individually.
Okay, and so while we wait, I'll announce the results of the boys' long jump. In 4th place was Luis Hernandez out of Calchelse. In 3rd, we're talking about Joe Maldonado finished in 3rd place in the long jump, and then in 2nd place was Eric Quilantan out of Harlingen High. And in 1st place with a jump of 23.6.50 was Jose Garcia out of Harlingen High School. Congratulations.
Yeah, usually these guys with that type of speed tend to have some pretty good power. And, you know, if you want to just kind of correlate that, just got to remember a guy by the name of Carl Lewis. That guy used to excel in the 100 and the long jump for many, many years, especially in the Olympics.
Back in the 80s, right?
Yeah,
Late 80s?
yeah.
88 Olympics is where I think he made a name for himself.
And
yeah.
So, yeah, and he dominated into the 90s as well.
Okay.
So Carl Lewis is, you know, just kind of, when I think of 100-meter runners and long jumpers, that, you know, people that excel in those 2 sports and those 2 events, in the same sport here, you know, just kind of remind me of stuff like that. You know, we see this in Joe Garcia as well. So here we go. Runners are getting in their blocks. Starter has his gun up. They're set. And they are off. A clean start, and Maldonado and Garcia way in front at the beginning. And Garcia taking off, and he's established a good 3-meter lead and finishes in 1st place, followed by Maldonado. So a really good race. And those 2 young men came out of the blocks quickly.
Yeah.
And they set the tone.
They exploded right off the block there. And but Garcia, we see the replay here, just from the get-go, just took off there and dominated basically halfway through the race. Joe did the best he can and did stay with him, but you know he'll finish a strong second place. So nothing to be ashamed of. He did very, very well as well. But this is Joe Garcia's event for one more year.
At least, yes, it is. So a great job there by Garcia and Maldonado, finishing strong. And in just a little bit, we'll get you guys the results.
I just thought I'd mention, Joe, that now that we're showing this wide shot there, I'm talking to the coaches this morning. They told me that the way track season is this year, and for safety reasons due to the COVID, what they asked everybody to do is just kind of, you notice they made like a pod for all the teams there. Everybody's separated. They give them that space because that's their space. You know, they want to warm up. They can do whatever they want. And if you remember, Joe, in years past, we'll see some of these runners kind of run around the field together to stay loose, to warm up. If you notice, this time they kind of made little pods for them. That's how they've been doing it in the track meets this year, just for safety reasons. And talking to Coach Cabrera and Coach Amaguera, they tell me that what they do is, before each meet, they get tested and everything. They do the self-screen test and all that, temperature check and all that for safety reasons. And I want to say all the other programs do that as well. So everybody's staying as safe as possible in these meets going on across the valley. Also, they only invite 8 teams, where before maybe you would have 9 or 10. No, it's only 8 teams. So they're just trying to limit the capacity. Yeah,
and when you limit it a lot for that social distancing, and as you mentioned right now, Mike, to be able to give everybody that space to warm up, but also to have the teams enough space to be able to do just that. And as we look, I think they've got 9 different pods on the field.
One for each school.
Right. I was trying to count them from up here as you pointed that out.
Right. So you've noticed they just kind of stay in their space there, and they can do whatever they want. Most of them are wearing their mask. During the races, it's optional. If you notice, these athletes are not wearing their mask. Most of them are not wearing their mask to run. I mean, obviously, it's very difficult to breathe while wearing it as it is. But during the race, it's that much harder. So, that's a good reason not to wear the mask. But yeah, I mean, I think the approach has been right. I think everybody is comfortable with the situation, and overall, I think everybody has to feel pretty good.
Well, Mike, looks like we've got something going on the track. Not sure what we've got going on. According to our schedule, our agenda here, our next event is going to be the girls 4x200 meter relay, followed by the boys 4x200 meter relay. But looks like they may have something else going on before that, because we've got a team from Harlingen and a team from Harlingen South on the track.
And so we got a few minutes. We can give some results here. I got the girls triple jump. In fourth place was Faith Martinez out of Harlingen South. In third place was Amity Ebarb out of Wesco High. In second place was Emma Arndt of Wesco High. And your first place winner with a jump of 36 feet 3 inches was Cassandra Rodriguez out of Harlingen High. Congratulations. Also here, I got the results. Are we gonna?
Like I said, we've got some kind of event going on.
Okay.
We've got a team from Harlingen and Harlingen South on the field, on the track. Excuse me. Not sure exactly what this is, but looks like we may have a some kind of relay going on.
Yeah, let's see as the 400, maybe some kind
It's
of
a 4x100 meter relay, but
Okay.
it looks like it's a kind of a mixed team.
Okay.
'Cause we got some men and some females running. So this may be just something for entertainment purposes, and it is really fun to see stuff like this, you know, to break the ice and to keep people loose and you know, just to keep everybody jolly. So here we go. Looks like Harlingen South is going to take this event. It's a 4x100 meter relay, but not sure how this came about or who is chosen, who the competitors will be, but Harlingen South wins this race.
Yeah, I think we saw this last year, Joe, or maybe even the year before, where we had some of these athletes that participate in the shot put and the discus, the field events, you know, just participate in these running events for fun and just to have a good time, just to give a little something to the coaches and to the crowd and to each other. And, you know, we see some of these fans up here with the arms up and just cheering and having a good time. And I think that's all what it is, Joe.
Yeah, and you know what else it does, Mike, is that you've got so many of these competitors participating in multiple events that it also gives them a little bit of a breather. Because again, a lot of these sprinters, you know, we go back to back. You know, you think the 4x100 meter relay, and then you got the 100 meter dash. So those athletes are for the most part running those two events back to back. And you think about it, the total amount of yardage that field that they cover is 200 meters, but you're exerting a lot of energy in those two events alone.
That's a very good point, Joe, because as a matter of fact, in talking to Emma Arndt at the field events, I asked her, how many events are you going to participate in today? And she said, I'm participating in 5 events. I'm like, oh my goodness, that's a lot of work there. So you're right, Joe. For a lot of these athletes, it just gives them an opportunity to just kind of breathe a little bit, to, you know, maybe rest and prepare for their next event.
Well, speaking of next events, we are now going to head to the girls 4x200 meter relay. And in lane 2, we're going to have Harlingen. In lane 3, we'll have Donna. In lane 4 will be Westlaco. Lane 5, Harlingen South. Lane 6, Mercedes. And in lane 7, Westlaco East. Westlaco will be represented by Maya Poo. Also, Emma Arndt will run the second leg. Third leg, Alessa Zapata, and anchoring that one will be Alexa Davila. Westlaco East is going to be in lane 7. Starting that race off for the Wildcats is going to be Joanna Gonzalez. Second leg, JC Cáceres. Third leg, Salma Saucedo, and anchored by Ashley Garcia. Harlingen, Valeria Cruz, Leila Salas, Cassandra Rodriguez, and Lauren Sweeney. Donna, Emily Jones, Nicole Moreno, Aicha Garza, Zalia Washington. Lane 5, Harlingen South, Faith Martinez, Isabela Mares, Lauren Reckford, and Sarai Rodriguez. And Mercedes will get things started off with Riley Castañeda. Jamie Flores, second leg. Serena Limas will be third leg, and it'll be anchored by Haley Garza.
And while we have some time, Joe, let's give a shout out to Coach John Boswell, who's watching us from Oklahoma. He actually texted me right now telling me that the event that we just saw a few moments ago, they call it the Flying Projectile Relay Race. That is a tradition at the Jimmy Platt. So it's been around for a long time. And as we mentioned, it's just to have fun. It's just to have a good time. to give us just a, something to look forward to.
Great job, John. Thank you so much for filling us in on that. Always good to see stuff like that. Would have been nice to see a few more teams involved. Would like to have seen the Mercedes squad, the Westco East squad, the Westco High squad, the Progreso squad. The Harlingen schools were the only schools that were there. So we had a few, or down and North, two of the other schools that are here as well. So it would have been nice to have all of them out there, just for chagrins, as we saw just a little while ago. So the flags are up. We got the white flag up, so that means that we are just moments away from getting started. All of the exchange centers looks like they are ready. So again, this is going to be the 4x200 meter relay. It means it'll be 2 full laps. Each young lady will run 200 meters in this race. In lane 2 is Harlingen, lane 3 Donna, lane 4 Westco, lane 5 Harlingen South, lane 6 Mercedes, lane 7 Westco East, and they do have to stay in their lanes both laps. So ladies have entered their blocks. And they're off. 800 meter relay. The record is 1:45.51, set in 1997. And here comes Westlaco and Harlingen. And it looks like Westlaco and Harlingen are both making moves on the stagger. And Westlaco seems to be out front. We'll see who exchanges first. It is Westlaco going to be first with the exchange. And it's a clean exchange. Westlaco making the turn. Harlingen South on their outside is making a move in that lane as well. So Westlaco, second leg, doing a really good job. And that is Emma Arndt. We talked about her earlier in the long jump. And here comes Harlingen South. Westlaco and Harlingen South with a lead on the field. Westlaco is in first place. Third leg is Alessa Zapata, and she's got the baton, and she is beginning to extend this lead for Westlaco. So Zapata doing a really good job here on the third leg of this 4x200 meter relay, and she's got a good 10 meter lead on Harlingen South. So Westlaco beginning to open up the gap here in this 4x200 meter relay, and the final leg is going to be Alexa Davila, a name that we have heard throughout the afternoon, and she's got the baton and the lead, and it's at least a 20 meter lead for Westlaco, and Westlaco is going to finish first in this event. Here she comes down the home stretch, and no one else is even in the screen for this 4x200 meter relay of the girls. So Westlaco, Harlingen South, followed by Harlingen. So here comes Davila in first place for your Westlaco Panthers. Harlingen South in second, followed by Harlingen. And it looks like Donna will finish fourth.
Yeah, what an outstanding job there by the Lady Panthers there. Emma Arndt, once she got the baton there, she was a second runner, and she kind of gave herself some space, and it looked like Harlingen South's Isabella Marces was going to catch up to her kind of halfway through, but then Emma Arndt once again got the space she needed to hand off to Alyssa Zapata, and Alyssa Zapata just dominated her part of the 200, and then we saw Alexa Davila just
watching on the screen right now,
just kind of finish strong for the Lady Panthers, and great job all around, great teamwork.
So a great job by the Westlaco Panther 4x200 meter relay as they finish first in this event. Now the boys are up next, and in lane 1 it's going to be Donna Nord. Lane 2 will be Donna. Lane 3 Westlaco. Lane 4 Harlingen. Lane 5 Mercedes. Lane 6 Harlingen South. And in lane 7 Westlaco East. Westlaco High is going to be in lane 3. Starting it off for the Panthers is going to be John Garcia. He'll hand it off to Maynard Moran. Nathaniel Martel will run the third leg, and it'll be anchored by Roy Stroman. For your Wildcats, Gianni Barrera will be starting things off for them. Jesse James Garcia will be the second leg. Joe Lugo will be the third leg, and it'll be anchored by Abraham Trevino. Mercedes first leg will be Austin Davila. Second leg, Mike Cisneros. Third leg, Josiah Cantu, anchored by Jordan Gonzalez. Lane 6, Harlingen South, Derek Alvarez. Devin Montemayor, Fidencio Mesa, Aiden Moreno. Lane 4, Harlingen, Josue Landaverde, Eric Sepulveda, Esvin Zuniga, and Santiago Jongentude. In lane 2, it's Donna, Brian Juarez, Francisco Contreras, Marco de los Rios, and Luis Silva. And in lane 1, Donna North, Aiden Gomez, William Perez, Oscar Salas, and Andrew Mendoza. Those are the teams that will be competing in this boys 4x200 meter relay.
And I got the results of the girls' shot put earlier today. In fourth place, we got Amaya Guerra out of Donna. In third place is I think it's Patience Estrada out of Weslaco. In second place, it's Kaylee Trantham out of Ecalchosa. And in first place, with a throw of 37 feet 11 inches, is a Harlingen South, Jasmine Ortiz.
So we're still getting things underway. Still waiting on a few okays, and it looks like we have gotten them as the white flag has gone up. So we will be getting these young men in their blocks in just a few moments. So again, let's give you the lane assignments. Lane 1, Donna North. Lane 2, Donna. Lane 3, Weslaco. Lane 4, Harlingen. Lane 5 will be Mercedes. Lane 6, Harlingen South. And Lane 7, Weslaco East. Harlingen has the best time of 133.5, followed by Mercedes 133.7, and Weslaco 134 even. So this is going to be a very tight race if they all have good exchanges and it holds true to their times.
Do we have a moment for one more? Do. Okay, so I have the results of the girls' 100-meter dash. In fourth place is Areli Vasquez out of Ecalchosa. In third place is Maya Pugh out of Wasco High. In second place is Valeria Cruz out of Harlingen High. And first place with a time of 12:67 is Faith Franklin out of Harlingen High School.
And those top three all ran in that same third section, if I'm not mistaken, because that was a really good race. They are set, and it looks like a clean start for the boys 4x200 meter relay. Harlingen and Mercedes out on top. And it looks like the young man from Harlingen is making the ground on Mercedes, and he has closed that gap and has overtaken the lead. So Harlingen out in front early in this race. We'll see the exchange. It looks like Harlingen is going to be first, followed by Mercedes and Weslaco as well. Those were 1, 2, and 3 as far as the exchanges are concerned. And here comes East on the top of your screen. And that second leg for Weslaco East is Jesse James Garcia running a great leg. But Harlingen has already made the gap on Mercedes and Harlingen South, and Weslaco on the inside doing a great job in the 4x200 meter relay. And the third leg for Weslaco is Nathaniel Martel, and he is beginning to make ground on Harlingen. So here comes Weslaco and Harlingen, first and second here in the 4x200 meter relay. And it looks like Weslaco is in first place because of the stagger. So here comes the exchange of the anchor leg, and it's Weslaco and Harlingen getting the exchange off cleanly. And here come the anchors for Weslaco. The anchor is going to be Roy Stroman. For Harlingen, it is Santiago Jonctitude. And here comes Stroman. Stroman is in first place, followed by Harlingen. Harlingen South making a move on the outside lane. And here comes Stroman for Weslaco. And it's going to be Weslaco finishing first, followed by Harlingen South, and then Harlingen. So what a great race by Weslaco. Harlingen South and Weslaco East finishing strong as well. So what a great run here by the boys in the 4x200 meter relay.
Outstanding job there by Weslaco High, coming on strong. You see Roy Stroman there on that last turn there. And looked like it was going to be Weslaco and Harlingen first and second, and then we see Harlingen South sneak into the screen there. And I tell you what, Joe. Not only did he pass the Harlingen High runner, but he almost passed Roy Stroman. If this race would have gone, say, another 10 meters or so, South might have had a chance to win this race. So give a lot of credit there to Aiden Moreno out of Harlingen South for making it that close, and Roy Stroman for Wesco High, able to hold on to the lead there. And let's also give a lot of credit to Nathaniel Martel. He's the one when he got he's the third runner. When he got the baton, he's the one that made up that gap that Harlingen High had on him, and was able to surpass him. So by the time Roy Stroman got the baton, he was able to just hold on strong and finish in first place. So great job all around by Wesco High, and a lot of credit also to Harlingen South for coming on strong at the end of the race.
Yeah, great job there by those young men, doing a just fantastic job finishing strong. So we have completed the girls 4x200 meter relay, the boys 4x200 meter relay, and so now we are going to head to the 400 meter dash, and we're going to have 3 sections of each event: the girls 400 meter dash and the boys 400 meter dash. So let's give you a rundown of the participants, and then we'll give you the lane assignments and school representations once we do that. In section 1, we'll have Emilia Salinas, Ashley Garcia, Jennifer Hernandez, and Haley Garza. In section 2, Glendy Hernandez, Bernice Sustaita, Paola Rodriguez, Orly Loya Trevino, Amia Perez, and Yvette Valladares. In section 3, it'll be Jasmine Mireles, Sydney White, Diane Garcia, Amity Ebarb, Alyssa Salas, Robin Perez, Calista Nino, and Regina Zamora. Section 1, let's repeat the names and the schools that they represent. In lane 3, it'll be Emilia Salinas of Harlingen. In lane 4, Ashley Garcia of Donna North. In lane 5, Jennifer Hernandez of Donna North. And in lane 6, Haley Garza of Mercedes. That is going to be the first section of these 3 sections of the girls 400 meter relay.
And I got the results of the boys' shot put earlier today. In 4th place was Julian Hill out of Harlingen South. In 3rd place was Ethan Zamora out of Wesco High. 2nd place was Caleb Davis out of Harlingen South. And your first place winner with a throw of 51:10.50 was Jesse Contreras out of Ecalchelsea.
Great job by those young athletes, especially with all the elements that we've been talking about. The wind, and it seems to have died down a little bit, Mike.
Yeah, the shadows are starting to creep in from, the press box that's right above us. So the sun is kind of setting behind that. So the shadows is kind of creeping in through the middle of the football field now. So basically the whole track area right in front of us is now covered, but the far side and just in the both sides of the curve there still have sunlight. But yeah, the temperature's starting to go down a little bit.
But I'm looking at some of the palm trees that are surrounding us, and they don't seem to be moving as much as they were earlier. The flags are still moving. They're a little lighter than the palm trees are, but the palm trees did have some movement in them earlier, so the winds may be dying down a little bit.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, not too much.
Not too much. And we still got some time here. It looks like I'll read off the boys' 100-meter dash. 4th place was Josiah Cantu out of Mercedes. In 3rd place was Isvan Zuniga out of Harlingen High. In 2nd place was Joe Maldonado out of Wesco High. And your first place winner with a time of 10.49 was Harlingen High's Joe Garcia.
So both Joes finished in under 11 seconds in that race.
Something else worth mentioning, Joe, is after 18 events, you got Wesco High with 168 points, Harlingen High with 166 points.
How good was that finish in the 4x200 meter relay?
Yeah, so I'm anxious to see those results.
Yeah, just to stay at top of that point total. So the girls are headed to their lane assignments here in the 400 meter dash. We've got an athlete from Donna in lane 2 who we do not have on our list here. So in lane 3, Emilia Salinas of Harlingen. In lane 4, Ashley Garcia of Donna North. In lane 5, Jennifer Hernandez of Donna North. And in lane 6, Haley Garza of Mercedes. And it looks like they may have made some adjustments because what I've got on my sheet versus what is on the track does not seem to match. So a lot of times what we'll see is, because we mentioned earlier, sometimes, you do get an athlete that does injure themselves. And of course, because as we've noted and as you've been mentioning, some of the results from earlier events, something may have happened from the morning till now that they've had to, not compete for whatever reason. Maybe be injury, maybe exhaustion, something might have come up. And so they shuffle them around. So nonetheless, we are going to get started in section 1 of our 3-section final of the girls 400-meter dash. It looks like we've got a clean start. And we've got a lady in lane 4 who seems to be moving up and making some room between her and the other competitors. The record in the 400-meter dash is 57.65 set in 2001, a 20-year-old record. So the young lady in lane 4 seems to be in first place here. Is this a Weslaco East athlete? So we got Weslaco, and Weslaco East. First, second, and third in section 1. So Weslaco East, first, second, third, followed by Donna. So great job there by WISD athletes here in section 1.
Yeah, nice clean race there all around. And we see the last 100 meters of the race there. And looked like Donna was trying to make a move there toward the end, but the top 2 finishers are Weslaco, and then you got the Lady Wildcat there. What's that, in lane 6 it looks like.
We had Weslaco, this young lady on the top in lane 6 almost took over.
Yeah.
And finished that one, but she finished strong. So good job there by the Weslaco High School and Weslaco East athletes. So here we go, section 2. And so we've got several of the athletes bringing out the blocks. This is a race that is one time around the track. And it's an all-out sprint, Mike. And so that's why you see some of these ladies bringing out the blocks. They want to get out strong, want to get out in front, and they just want to be able to keep that momentum going through the rest of. So we may be having section 3 here, because what they may have done was combine sections 1 and 2. So let's go ahead and give you the athletes for section 3, because section 3 does have 8 athletes. All 8 lanes are covered. And so we'll go ahead and give you that rundown. In lane 1, it'll be Jasmine Mireles of Ed Couch Elsa. Lane 2, Sydney White of Harlingen South. Lane 3, Danny Garcia of Progreso. Lane 4, Amity Ebarb of Weslaco. We know that one is right. Lane 5, Alyssa Salas of Harlingen. Lane 6, Robin Perez of Edcau Chelsea. Lane 7, Calista Nino of Dana. And lane 8, Regina Zamora of Edcau Elsa. Now that looks correct.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. What might have happened is they might have just combined the first 2 sections in the last race. So now we're able to just move on to section 3 of the event here. So that's what we're going to have. And immediately, as soon as I saw Amity out there, I was like, hey, this looks like it's section 3.
So Amity Ebarb, the only one to break the 60-second barrier in this race of this group here. So they are in their blocks. They are set. And there's the gun, a clean start for all the runners. And look at Amity Ebarb. She has not even come out of the turn, and she has already gapped the first two runners in lane 5 and in lane 6, and she has now taken the lead over the runner in lane 8. So Amity Ebarb is already at least 10 meters in front of the competition, because remember, the ones to her right started off in the stagger, so we'll see that kind of even itself out as soon as she makes the turn here in this curve and hit the straightaway. 57.65 is the record. This one was set, as we mentioned, in 2001, and we'll see if Amity is able to come close to that here in this race. Remember, she is coming into the wind here in the downstretch. So here she comes down the final 50 meters, and she is going to finish in first place. In second place, we've got the young lady from Progreso, followed by the young lady from Harlingen South, and that's going to be Sydney White and Danny Garcia finishing up second and third for the girls' 400-meter dash in the Section 3 finals.
Yeah, it looked like Diani Garcia of Progreso snuck into second place there at the very end, passing Sydney White out of Harlingen South there. So a lot of credit there to the young lady out of Progreso for finishing strong there. And as once again, Amity Ebarb just dominating right from the get-go there, finishing in first place.
Yeah, she just came out of those blocks and in the first 50 meters made up the stagger on the lady to her right, and even before she came out of that curb had already made out the stagger in the Lex lady. So here we go with the replay. Here she comes down the home stretch in lane 4, and again, she's way ahead of the pack, and she is just focusing on finishing strong. And sometimes, you know, when you've got that much of a lead, it's really hard to know where exactly you are as far as time is concerned, because there's really nobody there pushing you. But nonetheless, she did finish first, and that's what's more important. And you were right, Mike. That young lady from Progreso did come from behind and take over that lead to finish in second. So it looked like it's Amity Ebarb, followed by Diani Garcia, and then Sydney White of Harlingen South. So now we are on to the boys' 400-meter dash. And it looks like we will have 3 sections here. Josue de la Fuente from Mercedes in lane 1. Elian Rodriguez of Progreso in lane 2. Andrew Cortez of Mercedes in lane 3. Alejandro Sanchez of Dana in lane 4. Gael Rivas of Mercedes in lane 5. Damian Fuentes of Dana in lane 6. Saúl Garcia of Westlaco East in lane 7, and Brandon Anciso of Westlaco East in lane 8. Let's go ahead and give you the athletes for the next couple of sections. We cannot, because they are already putting them in the blocks. So the runners are in their blocks. And they're off. Clean start. And looks like Donna's lane 4, Alejandro Sanchez, is in the lead here, as he's already made the stagger on the people to his outside. So good job there in the start from Alejandro Sanchez of Dana. Looks like Donna's got 2 young men doing a great job here in this race, and Damian Fuentes out in lane 6 is doing a great job in this race. And we got Westlaco East representatives would be Saúl Garcia and Brandon Anciso doing really well in lane 7, and that's Saúl Garcia. And Garcia seems to be in the lead along with Anciso, and Anciso just overtook Garcia, and these 2 men are going to battle it out for the finish. So it's Garcia and Anciso, and it looks like it's going to be Anciso followed by Garcia. Westlaco East Wildcats finishing first and second.
Yeah, regardless, Coach Owens has to be happy to see 2 of his runners do very well in Section 1 of this event here. And, I mean, we saw Garcia and Anciso neck and neck pretty much for the last, 200 meters or so. It was pretty far back.
Yeah, we had Alejandro Sanchez come out really strong, and as he began to get to about that 200-meter mark that you just pointed out, he just kind of seemed to be fading. But these two young men from Westlaco East still had enough in them to finish strong. And Garcia and Anciso, here you see him down the home stretch, just really doing a great job keeping out in front. As you can see, the young man from Dana, Alejandro Sanchez, trying to keep up with him. But right here, the last 60 meters, these two guys from Westlaco East, Garcia and Anciso, just battling and just taking over this first section race of the 400-meter dash.
Yeah, we see a good shot of them right there. I'm sure they're both very happy for one another. They're proud, and they represented their school very well in this race.
So we're off to the second section. So let's give you a rundown on the lane assignments and their schools. In lane 1, Mark Zamorano of Dana. In lane 2, Donovan Martinez of Edcal Chelsea. In lane 3, Fernando Quintanilla of Harlingen. In lane 4, Daniel Trevino of Progreso. In lane 5, August Wilson of Harlingen South. In lane 6, Jacob Cano of Harlingen South. In lane 7, Josh Gomez of Edcal Chelsea. And in lane 8, Isaac Campos of Edcal Chelsea.
I got the results, Joe, of the boys' 4x200-meter relay that took place a short time ago. Fourth place was Donna. Third place was Harlingen High. Second place was Harlingen South. And your first place, a winner with a time of 1:34.27, was Wesco High.
And they're set and they're off. A good, clean start. Harlingen South has 2 runners. And in lane 6, out on top, it looks like it's Jacob Cano with the early lead, surpassing the 2 young men from Ed Couch Elsa. And in Jacob Cano, Jacob Cano on his inside is August Wilson. And August Wilson is starting to come on strong here in the turn. Wilson in lane 5 and Cano in lane 6, both runners from Harlingen South, first and second. So here they come down the home stretch. It's going to be Cano and Wilson. Wilson and Cano. Wilson with about a 1-yard lead. And it's going to be Wilson, Cano, followed by Quintanilla of Harlingen. And there it is, Wilson, Cano, and Quintanilla, first, second, and third here in Section 2. Section 3, it'll bring you Gavin Silva from Westlaco in lane 1. Evan Mascorro from Westlaco East in lane 2. Luis Garcia of Progreso in lane 3. Eric Quintalan in lane 4 from Harlingen. Sebastian Flores from Westlaco in lane 5. Johnny Perez of Westlaco in lane 6. Noah Peters of Harlingen South in lane 7. And Chris Nowak of Harlingen in lane 8. And here comes Wilson on the replay, coming on strong and extending his lead there at the end to finish strong here in the Section 2 of the boys 400-meter dash.
Yeah, I saw the momentum kind of go his way about 150 meters into the race. He started to make his move there when we were on the far side, right about halfway. That he started making his move, and then he just turned on the jets a little bit there, and just had a great turn. The last turn here, the last 200 meters, and then the last 100 meters, he just really came on strong there, took over, and was able to hold on.
Well, we've got Eric Quilantan of Harlingen in lane 4. He's the only one to come in under 50 seconds so far this season. So this is set up to be a great race because we got Quilantan in lane 4, Flores of Westlaco in lane 5, who's put up a time of 51 seconds so far this year. So those 2 young men are going to be some young men that we need to be looking out for in this race.
And while we wait, I'll just read off real quickly the winners of the 4x200-meter relay. In fourth place, we have Donna High. Third place was Harlingen High. Second place was Harlingen South. In your first place winner with a time of 1:49.10 was Westlaco High School.
So again, Westlaco finishing first. Okay, they are in their blocks. And it looks like a good, clean start. Quilantan in lane 4 and Flores in lane 5 are the two to watch out for. Quilantan has already made up the stagger, and it looks like he is out to an early lead. And it looks like Flores of Weslaco is in second place, and they've begun to distance themselves from the rest of the pack. And here they come down the final turn, and it's Quilantan followed by Flores. And Quilantan looks like he is going to come down the final 100 meters with a lead, followed by Flores. Quilantan, Flores, and then we've got the young man in lane 2. Looks like it's going to be, lane 3, Luis Garcia from Progreso finishing third. Yeah, it is Progreso in lane 3 finishing third. So a great job there by Quilantan and Flores to finish first and second. And Progreso's the runner from Progreso, Luis Garcia, finishing third. So here's the replay. Quilantan just strong. Look at him, running nice and relaxed. Just coming down the home stretch, focusing on his breathing, standing straight upright, finishing strong. And there he is with the finish, Quilantan. So good job there. Again, Weslaco finishing in second. That's going to be Johnny Perez. Sebastian Flores, excuse me. Sebastian Flores with a second place finish.
I'm standing here with Jesse Contreras of Calchesa High School, who placed first in the shot put and second in the discus. Jesse, congratulations. How do you feel?
Thank you. It feels amazing.
No, but just tell me about it. This was a very challenging day because I know the wind played a huge factor. How did you make those adjustments?
Well, the wind does make a huge difference, and at the beginning I wasn't doing so well, but I made a slight adjustment with my hand, and I got one out there to be able to play second.
I understand that you want to compete at the next level, and I know you've won 5 first place medals in the shot put. Just how do you feel, and what do you look forward to?
I feel great about that. I'm ready for district, and I'm waiting for state so I can see what I can do up there.
Okay, congratulations, Jesse.
Thank you.
Will all hurdle engineers please report to your assigned areas? All hurdle engineers report.
Well, we've done with the 400-meter dash, boys and girls, and so we are now going to get ready for the 300-meter hurdles girls division, followed by the 300-meter hurdle boys division. And we're going to have 3 sections for each of those races. So as we get the hurdles set up, because remember, this is going to be starting in one end and finishing on the other end. So basically running the horseshoe part of the track will go through the sections of the competitors. In the girls division, section 1, Milka Tinajero, lane 2, followed by Vida Ibarra, Natalie Aguilar, Angelina Perales, and Sydney Portillo. In section 2 to be Riley Lara, Melida Trevino, Aicha Garza, Maya Gomez, Damaris Regalado, Yaciel Lopez. In section 3, Leah Adame, Denise Acuna, Jada Huff, Calisa Cavazos, Cristina Hernandez, Amy Trevino, Clarissa Jaramillo, and Barbara Rodriguez.
While we got some time, Joe, I got the results of the girls' 400-meter dash. In 4th place was Calista Nino out of Donna High. In 3rd place was Sydney White out of Harlingen South. In 2nd place was Diani Garcia out of Progreso. And your 1st place winner with a time of 57.94 was Amity Ebarb out of Wasco High School. And after 25 events, we have Wasco High with 248 points. And in 2nd place is Harlingen High School with 209 points. So now we're seeing the Lady Panthers kind of separate themselves a little bit in this meet.
And Amity's time was very close to that record.
Yeah, she defeated Diana Garcia second place by almost 8 seconds or something like that. That's very impressive.
Right,
Very
but
impressive.
her time and the record are very, very close. And as we mentioned, had she had some kind of push, some kind of competition, I believe she could have come very close, if not breaking that record.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, you're right, because I know you mentioned it at the end of the race. It's just basically her against herself. It's so, maybe just a little bit of that, that challenge perhaps that she could have had perhaps. But yeah, it happens. But nevertheless, she took care of business and won the race.
Absolutely. So let's go ahead and give you the lane assignments as we get started here in section 1 of the girls 300-meter hurdles. We've got lane 2, 4, and 5 being represented. That is Milka Tinajero of Harlingen, Natalie Aguilar of Dana, and Angelina Perales of Mercedes. And in lane 2, it's Milka Tinajero of Harlingen with the lead. And the young lady from Dana, Natalie Aguilar, in second. And here they come down the final 100 meters, and it's the Lady Cardinals, Milka Tinajero, in first place. And she will go over the last hurdle. No, she got one more hurdle to clear before the finish line. And she will go over the last hurdle with the lead and finish strong here in section 1. So section 1, Milka Tinajero finishes first, followed by Natalie Aguilar of Dana and Angelina Perales of Mercedes. Section 2 will have Riley Lara of Mercedes in lane 2, Melida Trevino of Cauchelsa in lane 3, Aicha Garza of Dana in lane 4, Westlaco East, Maya Gomez in lane 5, Damaris Regalado of Dana North in lane 6, and Jaizael Lopez of Dana in lane 7. So here's the replay. And it's Milka Tinajero finishing strong for the Harlingen Cardinals in section 1 of this first of 3 sections in the girls 300-meter hurdles. So again, section 2 is just about to get underway. We've got the flag up still. So the girls are going to get ready to go in their lanes and in their blocks. So the starters got everybody ready. And it's a good, clean start. Looks like we've got in the lead here, Aicha Garza from Dana in lane 4. Garza with the lead. Maya Gomez from Westlaco East. Maybe a step behind her. Here they come down the home stretch. Garza, Gomez. Gomez pulling ahead here in the home stretch. Gomez has surpassed Garza. Westlaco East Lady Wildcat. Maya Gomez here in section 2 of this 3-section 300-meter hurdle. Now it's Garza taking over the lead as they approach the final hurdle. And it's Garza finishing strong ahead of Gomez in section 2. So a good finish there, Mike.
Well, I thought there that Maya might have had a chance to win this race there, but I think she was having a little bit of problems there in some of these last few hurdles there right there. And Garza was able to surpass her. As we see Garza finish strong. It was right about here that we see her just kind of make her move as they're about even there. And yeah, you see her pass her there, and then she was able to hurdle.
Hurdling is all about
timing.
It's all about timing and steps. And when you see them begin to chop their steps, their timing begins to get off, and then they begin to hesitate as far as what leg they're going to use to go over the hurdle, and then it begins to become a mind game.
Yeah, there's a rhythm involved, there's timing involved, and just knowing, what steps to take, how many steps and things like that. You kind of, I don't know how much practice they had, leading up to this event. Maybe for some of these girls, they haven't practiced as much than others, but, a lot of it is just a rhythm and timing, just being able to go from one hurdle to the next. And like you said, it's like a mind game a little bit.
Well, let's go ahead and give you the athletes that are competing in Section 3. Leah Adame of Mercedes in Lane 1. Denise Acuna in Lane 2 of Donna North. Jada Huff of Westlaco in Lane 3. Calisa Cavazos of Westlaco in Lane 4. Cristina Hernandez of Edcalchelsa in Lane 5. Amy Trevino of Harlingen South in Lane 6. Clarissa Jaramillo of Westco East in Lane 7. And Barbara Rodriguez of Donna North in Lane 8. And we only have one young lady with a sub 50 time, and that is Clarissa Cavazos of Westlaco. Going back to what we had been talking about earlier, Mike, about some of these names and the familiarity with some of these names because of other sports that they compete in. Remember, a lot of these young ladies are just coming off the basketball court, so they may not have had enough practice yet. So as we've been talking about, and I know you've mentioned this quite a bit tonight, is this is just sometimes a time for them to come out and get their feet a little bit stuck deeper into the competitive side of track and field.
Yeah, with that being said, for some of these athletes, is maybe their second meet, because basketball just ended a few weeks ago. So, they had to jump from basketball into track. And then I'm sure last week was a little tough for them participating in the first meet. And then so this is the meet where maybe they make their adjustments and, improve.
And here comes Cavazos. Cavazos looking really strong as she comes over these hurdles, really not skipping a beat, and she's at least 7 meters in front of the pack. The second closest competitor to her is Cristina Hernandez of Edcalchelsa. But this is all Cavazos from beginning to end. And look at that, not skipping a beat, just going over each and every hurdle with that right leg and then the left leg, and then finishing strong to finish first in the girls' 300-meter hurdle. So a good job there by Cavazos.
Yeah. We talk about rhythm and timing there. You saw a perfect example of that with Cavazos. I mean, you just kind of felt like as she was running, she kind of was maybe doing a little bit of something in her head where 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You kind of felt like after about 7 steps, the next hurdle was right there ready for her. And as you mentioned, her right foot over the hurdle right there. You see there, she jumps right over the hurdle, perfect timing, and then she just kind of goes with the perfect rhythm and timing. You see her arms kind of moving back and forth. Just the way they teach you how to do it.
And finishes off with that left foot hurdle, and then she just finishes strong to finish in first place of the third and final section of the girls' 300-meter hurdles. So we got the boys next, and as we wait for the results, let's just give you the names of the athletes that will be competing. We've got 2 sections when it comes to the boys' 300-meter hurdles. Caleb Conde, Brandon Anciso, Jonathan Granados, Ricardo Rodriguez, Adrian Morales, Giovanni Barrera, Alexis Rodriguez. They will all compete in Section 1. In Section 2, Jonathan Lugo, Francisco Contreras, Devin Tagle, Randall Lopez, Fernando Mendez, Luis Galvan, and Elias Rodriguez.
And while we have a few moments, I got the results of the boys' 400-meter dash. In 4th place was Noah Peters out of Harlingen South. In 3rd place was Luis Garcia out of Progreso. 2nd place was Sebastian Flores out of Wasco High. And your first place winner with a time of 49.35 is Harlingen High's Eric Quellenton. And with that being said, Joe, after 26 events, beg your pardon, you got Wasco High with 256 points, and you got Harlingen High with 221 points. So that's about a 35-point lead there that Wasco High has. Can they hold on?
Well, it looks here in Section 1 of this first section of 2, we'll only have 2 athletes competing, and that is going to be Ricardo Rodriguez of Donna North and Adrian Morales of Edcalchelsa. And Rodriguez of Donna is going to be the leading hurdler of Section 1 so far. So here comes Rodriguez of Dana. He's got the lead over Morales of Edcauchelsa. So Rodriguez of Dana will win section 1 of this 2-section 300-meter boys hurdle event. So it's going to be Rodriguez followed by Morales first and second here in section 1 of the boys 300-meter hurdles. The record set in 2001, 38:43. So again, a very good time and a 19-year-old record. I mean, a 20-year-old record.
Yeah, exactly 20 years ago. So that's a very impressive time, a very difficult time to beat. But yeah, fine job by these two young men in this first section of the event.
Yeah, you mentioned a difficult time to beat. No one has turned in a time of under 40 seconds so far. Section 2 of this 2-section final 300-meter boys hurdle. In lane 1 of Edcauchelsa, Jonathan Lugo. In lane 2 of Dana, Francisco Contreras. In lane 3, Harlingen South, Devin Tagle. In lane 4, Randall Lopez of Harlingen South. In lane 5, Fernando Mendez of Westlaco. In lane 6, Luis Galvan of Harlingen. And in lane 7, Elias Rodriguez of Harlingen South. So again, we got Randall Lopez, Fernando Mendez of Harlingen South, and Westlaco. Those are the two names that we need to keep an eye on in this event here.
Please report to the award stand.
And I have the results of the girls 300-meter hurdles. In fourth place is Leah Adame out of Mercedes. Third place was Clarissa Jaramillo out of Westlaco East. In second place was Cristina Hernandez out of Edcauchelsa. And your first place winner with a time of 47.96 is Calissa Cavazos out of Westlaco High.
So Lopez in lane 4. Mendez in lane 5. Those are the two that you want to keep an eye on. Not too far behind them is going to be Tagle. He's a very good athlete as well. So here comes Mendez. Looks like Mendez and Lopez are neck and neck. It looks like Mendez may have half a step on Lopez. As we come up the turn here, looks like Lopez is beginning to make his move. Lopez has now got about a half a step lead on Mendez. So here comes Lopez, Mendez, Tagle. Lopez, Mendez, Tagle. And it's going to be a fight for the finish here. Lopez, Mendez, and Tagle, first, second, and third. Maybe not in that particular order, but we'll just have to wait and see, because that was a very strong finish by Tagle and Mendez. We know that Lopez finished first. That we do know. But second and third, Tagle and Mendez, what a race.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's very important to know, Joe, that with Westlaco High leading the event overall, that's where the point system comes into effect. If Mendez can find himself a second place finish instead of a third, I mean, those are extra points that he's going to help his team with. So let's wait for the final result here. But a great job overall by the three young men going at it in this race.
And the good thing about when you talk about points, Mike, is that you didn't see any red jerseys finishing in that top, because that kind of keeps them in front.
Yeah, absolutely. No matter what, the Panthers will be the ones to get points out of the event, being that there was nobody from Harlingen High that finished in the top. So yeah, that's a very good point as well.
So we'll wait for those results. So we finished the boys 300-meter hurdle along with the girls 300-meter hurdles that would just run right before that. And so they'll be clearing their hurdles off the track to get ready for the 200-meter dash. So we've got the girls 200-meter dash, and we've got 4 sections of 200-meter runners, followed by the boys 200-meter dash, and we've got 3 sections in that event. So let's go ahead and give you the competitors, and we'll just run through the sections and their names, and then as we get closer to the actual running of the event, we'll give you the lane assignments and school representation. So section 1 will consist of Jamie Flores, Salma Saucedo, Sofia Pesina, Camila Mendoza, and Autumn Ramos. Section 2, Jennifer Cruz, Aridiana Garza, Alejandra Ochoa, Daniela Maximo, Emma Cedillo, and Joanna Gonzalez. In Section 3, Mayala Vallejo, Riley Castañeda, Haley Guzman, Melody Herrera, Lauren Reckward, Victoria Mireles. And in Section 4, it'll be Areli Vasquez, Maya Poo, Alisa Zapata, Faith Franklin, Emma Arndt, Lauren Sweeney, Emily Jones, and Isabella Mares. So those are the 4 section competitors for the 200-meter dash, which we are just a few moments from getting underway. So in Section 1, we are going to have Jamie Flores in lane 2 from Mercedes. Salma Saucedo from Westlaco East will be in lane 3. Pesina in lane 4 is from Progreso. Camila Mendoza in lane 5 from Dana North. And Autumn Ramos from Harlingen in lane 6. So the 200-meter dash is next, and they are getting the runners ready. As we've been pointing out, they have this pod section, and same holds true as they get the athletes ready for each of the different sections. As you can see on your screen, they are separated via cones. And again, you know, Mike, I know you were alluding to this earlier about the pods and the pandemic and social distancing and all that stuff. So we like to see that the Westlaco Independent School District is doing such a great job in preparation and trying to keep in line, in check with all these CDC guidelines to keep everybody as safe as possible.
Very well organized by the district in proceeding with this event and keeping everybody safe and separated. You can see there the runners, you know, keeping their distance from one another. That's why they have those cones out there, as you mentioned, Joe. And then, you know, once they're ready to go with the race, and then they'll call them up to the track, and then they'll have them line up where they're supposed to go. As you can see right now, they have their mask on, right? And then so once they get into the track is when they have that option of leaving it on or taking it off.
So it looks like they're starting to release the athletes to their lane assignments. They're going and grabbing their blocks.
So yeah, so they get their blocks and then they go to their lane assignments.
So we are just moments away from getting underway here in the 200-meter dash. So again, the girls have 4 sections. So we have a great group of competitors in the girls 200-meter dash. So let's go once again. Or you know what, let's turn it over to you, Mike. I know they just turned in some final results to you.
This is from the boys 300-meter hurdles. In 4th place was Francisco Contreras out of Dana High. In 3rd place was Fernando Mendez out of Westlaco High. We mentioned that he finished 2nd or 3rd. Well, he finished 3rd. In 2nd place was Devin Dagle out of Harlingen South. And then your first place winner with a time of 42.30 is Randall Lopez out of Harlingen South. Now, after 28 events, the team scores. We got Westlaco High with 272 points, Harlingen High with 225 points. So a nice little cushion there by Westlaco High.
We just saw on the podium the Westlaco High School 4x200-meter gold medal finishers. And a great job there by those young men. We talked about that race earlier, and what a great race that was. A good, strong finish, and just the overall great run by all 4 athletes in that race. So here we go. The girls have got their blocks on the track, and we are watching them count off their steps, getting them adjusted for their best start. You know, it's all about positioning. It's all about, you know, just finding that right set to be able to explode out of those blocks, because of course, you know, what you don't want to do is you don't want to come out and stand straight up. You want to come out and be as aerodynamic as possible, and just gradually bring yourself to a more of a running stance. And so again, so you see a lot of these athletes start a little different. You have some of them with a little bit more crunched starting position, with some of them a little bit more extended. And again, it's all just about feel
and comfort. just they are the ones that get to choose what style they want, what they're most comfortable in. The coaches will maybe give them some pointers, will advise them what they feel would maybe work best, but in the end it's up to the athlete. They're the ones that know themselves better, so they get to choose it and see what is best for them to come off of that block.
So it looks like we've got lanes 2, 5, and 6 being represented here in the girls' 200-meter dash first section. And that's going to be Jamie Flores of Mercedes, Camila Mendoza of Dana North, and Autumn Ramos of Harlingen. So the white flag is up, so that means that the starter has now been notified that we are good to go. So Jamie Flores of Mercedes, Camila Mendoza of Dana North, and Autumn Ramos of Harlingen in Section 1 of the girls' 200-meter dash.
Set. Down in the
They are
infield,
set.
please. Down in the infield.
Oh, we thought we were set. something must have happened.
On your marks.
Okay, now so we'll just get it all started all over again. Here we go. Girls are getting back in their blocks.
Set.
And a good clean start for Flores, Mendoza, and Ramos. So it looks like Jamie Flores of Mercedes has got the early lead. On the outside, it's Ramos. Flores has just surpassed both runners that she's got here in Section 1. So it's Flores and Ramos, first and second. Flores, it will be the winner of Section 1, followed by Ramos. And the record is up on your screen, another 20-year-old record, 25:37, set in 2001.
Yeah, 25 seconds. That's very, very impressive. I mean, because if you think about it, if you run a 400 and you multiply that times 2, that's a little over 50 seconds. So, yeah, it's a sprint there. But you see Flores there of Mercedes with a great finish there, a great job. Once she made that first turn, Joe, she really took over the race there in the first section of the event.
So we'll head to the second section of this event, the 200-meter dash. In lane 1, Jennifer Cruz of Edcout Chelsea. In lane 2, Adriana Garza of Dana North. In lane 3, Alejandra Ochoa of Dana North. In lane 5, Daniela Maximo of Harlingen South. In lane 6, Emma Cedillo of Dana. And in lane 7, Joanna Gonzalez of Westlaco East.
In third place, Clarissa Jaramillo, Westlaco East. In second place, Cristina Hernandez, Edcout Chelsea. And your winner in the girls' 300-meter hurdle with a time of 47.
So Garza in lane 3, Ochoa in lane 4, Cedillo in lane 6, and Gonzalez in lane 7. So it looks like in section 2 we've got 4 competitors. So 2 young ladies from Dana North, 1 from Dana and 1 from Westlaco East here in section 2. And they're off a good clean start. And in lane 3, it is Adriana Garza. In lane 4, Alejandra Ochoa. And it looks like the Dana North young ladies are in first and second. Dana North, Garza and Ochoa. And it looks like it's going to be Garza, Cedillo, Gonzalez, Ochoa. So a good race there. Very tight to the end.
Yeah, great job there all around. I think had the race gone a little while longer, I think we would have seen the other Dana North runner make a run at it. You see there in the replay, the young lady on lane 3 looked like she was going to make a move there, but just a little too late there. Again, if the race would have gone, say, another 100 meters, she might have had a shot to finish, perhaps even second place there. But great job all around by all 4 young ladies.
So we got another section 3. We got Malaya Vallejo from Mercedes in lane 1. Riley Castañeda. In lane 2 is Vallejo from Mercedes. In lane 3 is Riley Castañeda from Mercedes. In lane 4 is Haley Guzman of Edcal Chelsea. In lane 5 is Melody Herrera of Westlaco East. In lane 6 is Lauren Reckward of Harlingen South. And in lane 7, Victoria Mireles in lane 7. So we've got lane 3 in Riley Castañeda. Lane 4, Haley Guzman. Lane 6 is Lauren Reckward and Victoria Mireles in lane 7. Malaya Vallejo in lane 2. So 2 young ladies from Mercedes. Edcal Chelsea, Harlingen South, and another young lady from Edcal Chelsea. So 2 Mercedes, 2 from Edcal Chelsea, and 1 from Harlingen South. And they're set, and they are underway. So it looks like the 2 young ladies from Mercedes in lanes 2 and 3, Vallejo and Castañeda, taking an early lead here as we come down the home stretch. And in the final lane, Victoria Mireles staying strong in second place. It's going to be Castañeda from Mercedes finishing first, followed by Mireles of Edcal Chelsea. And then looks like Castañeda from Mercedes finishing third.
Yeah, I'm anxious to see how this finishes in this Section 2 race finished at the end, because it looked like the young lady from Mercedes, we see the replay here, there on lane number 2, made a last effort there. We see Edcal Chelsea. Well, I still can't tell after the replay, but you're right, Joe.
Castañeda finished first.
Yeah, Haley Guzman was right there at second place, but I wonder if she held down or if the other young lady, Vallejo, from Mercedes, beat her at the very, very end. So, yeah, we'll wait and see for the results.
So, Section 4. Arely Vasquez of Edcal Chelsea will be in lane 1. Maya Poo of Westlaco in lane 2. Alyssa Zapata from Westlaco in lane 3. Faith Franklin from Harlingen in lane 4. Emma Arndt from Westlaco in lane 5. Lauren Sweeney of Harlingen in lane 6. Emily Jones of Donna in lane 7. And Isabela Mares of Harlingen South in lane 8. Now, these are some names of some people that we have heard on the podium all night long. Westlaco has Alyssa Zapata and Emma Arndt. Harlingen has Faith Franklin. So lanes 4, 3, and 5 are the people that you need to watch out for. But I wouldn't discount Maya Poo in lane 2. Also from Westlaco. They are set and a clean start. Franklin in lane 4. Arndt in lane 5. Franklin out to an early lead. Arndt right on her tail. So it's Franklin, Arndt, and I can't see who from Westlaco is in third place right now. It looks like Pooh, right?
It looks like, yeah, lane 2. That would be Pooh.
So it's going to be Franklin followed by Arndt, and it may have been Isabela Mares finishing third, then Pooh in fourth. We'll wait for the results, but that race was tight, second, third, and fourth. So here's the finish. We know Franklin finishes first. Arndt in second. And it looked like the young lady Jones from Donna finished third.
One of 3 for the boys 200-meter dash, lane 1.
So what a good race there. The girls 200-meter dash finals, section 4.
Yeah, very, very competitive. And I mean, we saw in the prelims, we were looking at the times here, Joe, and very close to each other. And the race lived up to the way the prelims results came out. It was a very good, tight race, very competitive.
Well, if you look at the times, Mike, as you just mentioned, Franklin has the best time at 26.5. And the other ladies are within a second of that, with the exception of 2 that are maybe 1.2 or 1.3 seconds beyond that. So, again, that was all set up for a great finish. So, girls 200-meter dash is in the book. So, we head on over to the boys 200-meter dash. 3 sections. And section 1, Daniel Treviño, Luis Hernandez, Alan Garcia, Giovanni Barrera, Nick De La Rosa, Austin Davila, Josué Fuentes. Section 2, Gael Romo, Adrián Cavazos, Isaiah Dominguez, Abraham Treviño, Charlie Hughes, Luis Silva, Josh Gomez, and Matthew Lopez. Then lane 1 of section 1, Daniel Treviño of Progreso. Lane 2, Luis Hernandez of Edcal Chelsea. Lane 3, Alan Garcia of Mercedes. Lane 4, Giovanni Barrera of Westlaco East. Lane 5, Nick De La Rosa of Harlingen South. Austin Davila of Mercedes in lane 6. Josué Fuentes of Mercedes in lane 7. And we've got a good, clean start. And look at Barrera go. Barrera is out there in front with the pack, but Mercedes looks like he's got a lead, and that's Austin Davila up in lane 7. And it looks like Davila is going to finish first, followed by Hernandez from Edcal Chelsea, and Barrera from East looked like he finished third.
Yeah, that was a very impressive run by the young man out of Mercedes there.
There's a good look at him.
There's a very good look at him right there. And, he just, from the get-go, he just took over the race and finished strong there.
So we'll see if we get a replay here. And here it comes. So here we go. Davila, there was just no ifs, ands, or buts about that one. He finished first. And there goes the young man from Edcouch, and Giovanni Barrera finishing third. So a good run by Barrera.
Yeah, Barrera's having a really good day, finishing up there in the top 2, 3 in his events there. So, yeah, a very nice, solid day for the young man.
So here's section 2. In section 2, Gael Romo from West Coast could be in lane 1. Adrián Cavazos from Progreso in lane 2. Is Isaiah Dominguez of Westlaco in lane 3, Abraham Treviño of Westlaco East in lane 4, Charlie Hughes of Edcal Chelsea in lane 5, Luis Silva of Dana in lane 6, Josh Gomez of Edcal Chelsea in lane 7, and Matthew Lopez of Dana in lane 8. And the third section will consist of Derek Alvarez, Josué Landaverde, Joe Maldonado, Jose Garcia, Eric Quilantan, Aiden Gomez, Jeremiah Rivera, and Roy Stroman. That'll be section 3, and we'll go over the lane assignments in just a little bit. So once again, let's give you the lane assignments for this next section. Gael Romo, Westlaco East, lane 1. Adrián Cavazos, Progreso, lane 2. Isaiah Dominguez, Westlaco, lane 3. Abraham Treviño, lane 4 of Westlaco East. Lane 5, Charlie Hughes of Edcal Chelsea. Lane 6, Luis Silva of Dana. Lane 7, Josh Gomez of Edcal Chelsea. And in lane 8, Matthew Lopez of Dana. So this is going to be a good race. Several names that we've heard before tonight. Abraham Treviño from Westlaco East is a name to watch out for in this race. So here we go. Lane 2, Adrián Cavazos of Progreso making up some move and getting out to an early lead, but Luis Silva of Dana out in lane 6. Looks like he is out in front of everybody. So it's going to be Silva and Cavazos first and second here in section 2. What a great race by those two guys.
Yeah, nice job there. Nice start to the race, and then on the turn, did an outstanding job. Held on all the way to the end.
Yeah, Silva doing a really good job there from Dana. So here's a replay. So here's lane 6, you got Silva. And in lane 2, you got the young man from Progreso in Cavazos. And those two guys finishing really strong. And they were followed by Abraham Treviño from Westlaco East. We talked about him earlier.
Yeah, this is his first year competing in varsity track. And so Coach Owens was anxious to see how he does. And he has to be very happy with the way he's performing here at the Jimmy Platt Invitational. Solid outcomes to his races.
So here's section 3, and this is going to be one that we're going to want to watch closely. A couple of big names from guys who have finished strong in their events earlier. Derek Alvarez from Harlingen South is in lane 1. Josue Landaverde from Harlingen is lane 2. Joe Maldonado from Westlaco is in lane 3. Jose Garcia of Harlingen in lane 4. Eric Quilantan of Harlingen in lane 5. Aiden Gomez of Donna North in lane 6. Jeremiah Rivera in lane 7 of Harlingen South. And Roy Stroman of Westlaco in lane 8. And Josue Garcia won the 100. Eric Quilantan, if my memory serves me correctly, won the 400. So those two guys are gold medal winners from earlier. Joe Maldonado finished a strong second in the 100. And then Roy Stroman finished a great final leg of the 800-meter relay. So this is going to be a really good race here. So guys, hold on to your seat and grab that popcorn.
And keep in mind, Joe, that Harlingen High is behind in this Invitational by about 40, 50 points. So this event is critical for them to finish in the top 2 or 3.
Garcia has already made the stagger on Quilantan. But remember, Quilantan's a 400-meter guy. So he's got some juice in him. And here he comes. Garcia, Quilantan, Maldonado. Garcia, Quilantan. Quilantan coming up strong. And it's going to be Quilantan, Garcia, Maldonado. What a finish.
Oh, wow. Woo. Yeah, that was a very, very good race right there. And then we see Joe Maldonado, congratulating him.
So here's the replay. So you got Garcia. He made up the stagger on Quilantan, but remember, Quilantan's a 400-meter guy. So you know that guy's got something in the tank still. And here he comes on strong. And look at him come up to Garcia and even take a half a step lead on Garcia. Here's a finish. I don't know. That's too close to call.
Good luck to the judges.
Yeah, that is too close to call from where I'm at.
Wow. Yeah, oh my goodness. I guess if there's one person that's happy right now, that would be the Harlingen High head coach. He could care less who won first or second place because his top 2 boys finished in first and second. That's all he knows. But, oh my goodness, individually, golly, what a race. What a race. I'm sure they'll be talking on the way home. They're going to be joking around and talking about how close it was.
Well, while they try to sort that out, let's give you guys the 1,600-meter competitors in the girls' division. Destiny Longoria from Westlaco, Ariana Rodriguez of Harlingen South, Kennedy Villalpando of Westlaco, Ana Vela of Westlaco, Samara Rodriguez of Dana, Gloria Venegas of Dana North, Natalie Basan of Westlaco East, Eileen Campos of Dana, Stephanie Mendoza of Westlaco East, Randy Lara of Mercedes, Julie Callanan of Edcouch Elsa, Harlingen's Anaí Olivas, Westlaco East, Raven Osuna, Dana North, Jocelyn Gonzalez. Harlingen has Kelsey Rodriguez and Brianna Rivas. Those are the competitors here in the girls' 1,600-meter run.
And for those that don't know, Joe, the 1,600-meter run is 4 laps.
So that's 4 times around the track for these young ladies. And again, Kennedy Villalpando is a name we hadn't mentioned tonight, but she's a young lady that played on that basketball team. The district. So just a few moments away from getting this one underway. So we still got something holding everything up here. Once again, this is 4 times around the track. So Westlaco, Destiny Longoria, Kennedy Villalpando, Ana Vela. Westlaco East, Natalie Basan, Stephanie Mendoza, and Raven Osuna.
When we talk about some of these athletes that played multi-sports, Kennedy Villalpando's another one that played for the basketball team. And I saw her earlier compete in the race earlier. I believe it was a 3,200-meter race that she competed in. It was or it might have been another event, but she did very well in that race as well. So just a lot of talent in this Wesco High squad.
You know, you talk about talent and just people competing over and over again. I was looking over the 1,600-meter run for the boys. I just want to make sure Gianni Barrera's name wasn't on there also, because it seems like that guy's been in every event.
Yeah. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, but that shows the competitiveness the young man has.
Yeah.
He just loves sports, loves to compete, and has a great time.
And being that your senior year, you want to do as much as you can.
Yeah, a great guy to interview as well.
Yeah.
We interviewed him a number of times and was always receptive and, you know.
Yeah, you know, those two guys, both him and his brother, I know I've run into them several times throughout the year, of course, you know, and us covering, you know, so many of the different sports this year because of COVID. We've done, you know, just that many more events, and so, you know, they're always so gracious, and they say hi to me every time they run into me, whether it be on campus or in town or whatever, you know. So, you know, it's just a different. It's been a different year. Let's just put it that way, and so, you know, just so appreciative of just seeing people out and about. So the red flag is still up. We're still waiting for the clearance to get the 1,600 meter. You mentioned the 3,200 meter. That's why that was still on my mind. There was 1,600 meter run for the girls section, or the girls division, better yet. We got the boys right after this. All right, so the red flag has now been switched over to a white flag. So we are now turning it over to the starter, and he's now allowed the girls to get in their positions. And there's the gun, and we've got a good, clean start. So we're going to go ahead and turn it over to you, Mike, as you give us some more final results.
Yeah, we got the results of the boys' pole vault that took place earlier today. In fourth place was Randall Lopez out of Harlingen South. In third place was Marco Del Rios out of Donna High. Second place was Nathaniel Martel out of Wesco High. And your first place winner with a jump of 13 feet 6 inches is Alexis Martinez out of Donna North. And in the boys discus, in fourth place, we have Caleb Davis out of Harlingen South. In third place was Nathan Huerta out of Harlingen High. In second place was Jesse Contreras out of Ecachesa. He's the young man I interviewed earlier today that you saw. And your first place winner with a throw of 164 feet and 8 inches is Julian Hill out of Harlingen South. The boys triple jump. Fourth place was Noah Peters out of Harlingen South. In third place was Gianni Barrera. We talked about Gianni out of Wesco East. In second place was Sebastian Flores out of Wesco High. And your first place winner with a jump of 42 feet 1 inch is Luis Garcia out of Progreso. And last but not least is the girls' long jump. Fourth place was Sabrina Todd out of Harlingen High. In third place was Cassandra Rodriguez out of Harlingen High. Second place was Cassidy Rodriguez out of Mercedes. And your first place winner with a jump of 17 feet 5 inches is Emma Arndt out of Wesco High.
Emma, we talked about her going out to the military, so congratulations to her. And you know, she's competed well throughout the years. You know, we've mentioned her name many a times on so many of these track broadcasts.
Yeah, and being that she's a senior, this is one of the last few meets that she's going to have here at home. I know we have district coming up later on in the year, but this day has to feel special for an athlete like her and Amity Ebarb. Destiny Longoria, I believe, is also a senior.
And speaking of Destiny, here she is in first place as she comes down the home stretch in lap 2 of the 1,600-meter run. And in second place, we've got Ariana Rodriguez of Harlingen South. And it looks like it's Ana Vela in third, who just got taken over third place. She was now in fourth. So a good job there. And here's a good shot of Destiny Longoria as she wraps up the first 800 meters of this 1,600-meter run. 5:07:40 is the record of the 1,600-meter run, which was set back in 2015.
Yeah, Destiny's another young lady that we've mentioned over the years for such a long time. And she's had an outstanding career in cross country and in track. And what I really like, Joe, is that, unfortunately last year with what happened, and then we lost the end of the track season, but they all came back. And they're just as strong as ever. I mean, they're just, it's like they didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, and you mentioned they're strong as ever, but they're also as hungry as ever.
Absolutely. I think that's also another motivational thing for them is that, godly, last year we probably would have had a chance to go to state for sure, regionals. We probably would have won district and area maybe. And so, of course, absolutely, that hunger factor, and not only in track, but probably in softball and in baseball for some of these athletes that, that didn't get that opportunity to make that playoff run.
Well, you think about things like this, like Amity Ebarb. Her chances of being a 3-time state finalist, that got erased.
Absolutely.
Stuff like that. Those are some of the things that you just missed out of because of the pandemic. And Longoria is still in front, and she's got about a 60-meter lead, but the battle has now become for second and third. It's Ariana Rodriguez, and I can't quite make out the other athlete that is in second and or battling for second and third along with Rodriguez there. So here we go. Destiny Longoria ahead of the pack. She's got a good 80-meter lead on the pack. She is now about 150 meters away from the finish.
Fourth place,
About a 70-meter lead of the second and third place.
This has been a long day for everybody. You only wonder what these athletes are going through right now. Being that this is one of the last events of the night, they must be pretty exhausted.
Exactly. That sun takes a toll on you. So here comes Destiny as she rounds the final turn of the final lap. So here comes Destiny. Destiny finishing strong. Destiny Longoria, the leader from start to finish. A great finish by Destiny Longoria, gold medal winner of the girls' 1,600-meter run.
200-meter dash. In sixth place.
But we've got a second place competitor.
In fifth place, Melissa Zapata, West. In fourth
We've got one more lap.
Yeah, it looks like we got, Destiny, it looks like she stopped, so.
Third place, Jones, done. Second place.
Yeah, I think we're still going. I think everybody's confused right now, Joe. So let's see what they say.
There's something happened. I counted 4 laps, Mike.
Yeah, I think you're right, Joe. I think you're right because we saw Destiny finish, but then she was kind of still running around toward the scoreboard and around this way, and I don't know if maybe somebody told her that the race was over or what. And then we saw some of these other runners kind of go for a little while, and then they stopped.
Yeah, and then somebody was pointing out, looked like they were pointing up one finger as if there was one more lap to go.
Yeah, and we see Coach Maguera there making his way there to the judges, like, okay, what's going on? Did we do it right? Did we not do it right? Let's find out here.
Here are the results of the boys' 200-meter dash.
So we'll wait to see what happens here.
In sixth place, Amy Gomez, Donna North. In fifth place, Luis Silva, Donna. In fourth place, Austin Davila, Mercedes. In third place, Joe Maldonado, Westlaco. In second place, Eric Dilantan, Harlingen. And your winner, boys 200-meter dash, time of 21.
So they're having some kind of conversation on the field
Jose Garcia.
as far as what exactly transpired on the
Please
track.
report to the award stands to get your medals.
Yeah, we see the judges there still talking, and I guess they're trying to figure out exactly what happened.
Well, while they do all that, let's go ahead and give you the competitors for the boys' 1,600-meter run. It's going to be Dominic Luna of Harlingen, Kevin Hernandez of Dana, Giovanni Cisneros of Harlingen, Ivan Montante of Harlingen, Eric Chavez Carrion of Dana, Benjamin Rubio of Dana North, Jose Torres of Dana North, Isaiah Hernandez of Mercedes, Rene Tamez of Westlaco East, Steven Ortegon of Harlingen South, Alexis Mata of Edcal Chelsea, Brandon Salinas of Mercedes, Dylan Rodriguez of Westlaco, Jared Garcia of Westlaco, Jordan Gomez of Mercedes, Jesus Garza of Westlaco East, Anthony Segura of Edcal Chelsea, Armando Santana of Progreso, Damian Fuentes of Dana, Jacob Cano of Harlingen South, Matt Garcia of Edcal Chelsea, Gabriel Rosales of Harlingen South, and Max Corpus of Dana North.
From Mercedes, Jordan Gomez. From Westlaco East, Jesus Garza. From Edcal Chelsea, Anthony Segura. From Progreso, Armando Santana. From Dana, Dave Fuentes. From Harlingen South, Jacob Cano. From Edcal Chelsea, Matt Garcia.
So going over the last minute instructions with these young men as they get them ready for the boys' 1,600-meter run.
So they basically have half of them start there, right? And then they kind of have a few of them kind of.
Yeah, because you'll have half of the field in the first 4 lanes and the second half of the field in the last 4 lanes. And so the first 4 lanes, as soon as they get going, they can go into lane 1. And these young men have to wait till they get to the other side of the turn, which is about 110 meters before they can come in, because they've got basically a double stagger here.
So it looks like we have about seven runners there in the lanes. What would you say, 6, 7, 8? They're kind of bunched up together, and then we got the others in the starting line, which is about 15 perhaps, 15 or 16.
Mm-hmm.
We got 23
competitors
overall.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think all 23 are on the track. We got maybe 19 to 20.
So it looks like, about 9 or 10. They're taking up the first 7 or 8 lanes.
Mm-hmm. So we may have maybe 17, 18 runners. So we may be short 5. But again, that's something we've been seeing all night long. Not all of them either made it out, or maybe some of them just opted not to compete for whatever reason. It has been a long day. A lot of people, as we've been talking about all night, have competed in multiple events. So we still got the red flag up, so we're going to hold off to get this one going. Judge is there talking now. That red flag looked like it had come down, but it's still staying up there.
And judging by the way they're holding up that red flag, the wind is still howling pretty good down there in the track.
At the track level, you're absolutely correct, Mike. It's as we mentioned earlier, the palm trees aren't moving as much, but these flags still are moving. Flags are a little lighter than the palm trees, and so nonetheless, it gives us a good indication that the wind's still moving. Red flag's still up, so we're not ready to go. Dominic Luna of Harlingen comes in with the best time at 4:31. Kevin Hernandez of Dana, 4:31.76, second best time. Giovanni Cisneros of Harlingen, 4:32. And then it's going to be Ivan Montante of Harlingen, 4:37. So we've got 3 young men all within a second of each other, 4:31 and 4:32 in Luna, Hernandez, and Cisneros. So this one could go down to the wire.
Yeah. Yeah, right now, Harlingen is going to need to step up because they're pretty far behind in the scoreboard here. So this is their opportunity to creep up there and get some points as the event winds down.
So we've got a little bit of a delay here for the start again. These young men are all beginning to warm up or continue to loosen up, as I'm pretty sure just standing still for a while there, they all felt like they were probably getting a little cold. You know, because it has been somewhat of a long delay here to get the start of the 1,600-meter boys race underway.
Go back, guys. Go back on the front line. Okay, step on. Step back. All right. Use it, right?
Okay, looks like we are ready to get underway. The starter has pulled the gun out of the holster. So the white flag is up. There we go. So we're officially ready to get underway. Start of the boys 1,600 meters has begun, and we've got a good, clean start. So again, Luna of Harlingen, 4:31. Hernandez of Dana, 4:31.76. And Cisneros of Harlingen, 4:32. Those are the best times that have been submitted so far up until this race. So this is going to be a good one.
Yeah, it should be a good one. And while we have a little bit of time here, I'll read off a couple of more results here from earlier today. From the girls' high jump, in fourth place was Arianda Garza out of Dana North. In third place was Damaris Regalado out of Dana North. In second place was Emily Jones out of Dana High. And your first place winner with a jump of 5 feet 2 inches is Jada Ho of Westlaco High School.
Jada continues to dominate that high jump.
Girls.
She's done so well in that high jump so far this year.
Okay, and now we move on to the girls' 200-meter dash. Fourth place was Maya Pugh out of Westlaco High. In third place was Emily Jones out of Dana High. Second place was Emma Arndt out of Westlaco. And your first place winner with a time of 26:88 is Faith Franklin out of Harlingen High School.
Franklin's a name we've mentioned a lot tonight.
Absolutely. She's had a great day today. And last but not least is the boys' 200-meter dash. It's fourth place is Austin Davila out of Mercedes. In third place is Joel Maldonado out of Westlaco High. In second place is Eric Galintan out of Harlingen High School. And then in first place they have is Jose Garcia out of Harlingen High School. Joe, the interesting thing is that they have them both at 21.88. So I don't know. Do you want to explain to me that tiebreaker? How does that work? I'm not sure. But they gave Jose Garcia the 10 points, and they gave Eric Galintan the 8 points.
Because you got to remember, they go out to hundredths of a second. Had they gone out to thousandths of a second, there may have been a little bit of a discrepancy there.
Okay.
So again, you know, it's a hundredth of a second, and so that's the way it is.
And you're probably right about that. I mean, that's the best that we can think of, at least, because it makes sense. It makes perfectly sense. And as far as the score, you got Westlaco High at 302 points. Harlingen High School with 254 points, and that's going into the last two events of the night.
So a good race so far here. Chavez and Cisneros. I'm sorry, Chavez and Hernandez of Dana. Cisneros and Luna of Harlingen. All in first, second, third, and fourth place. And of course, Harlingen's Montante is up there in the mix as well. So here we go. Harlingen. First and second, Luna, Cisneros. Dana's Hernandez is in there as well. So there's the bell for the final lap. So Luna beginning to take a lead here. But Cisneros of Harlingen not allowing him much room. So it's going to be Harlingen first and second. And, you know, you were talking about points here, Mike. You know, this is, if they finish first and second, this is going to be a lot of points for Harlingen. So Cisneros in first, Luna in second.
Yeah,
So-
it looked like the young man from Donna was going to try to make a move for first place, but now he's falling a little bit behind there.
So here's Cisneros and Luna. Cisneros looks like he's going to take it as he is holding on strong in front of Luna, who came in with the best time. But here comes Cisneros, Luna, followed by Hernandez of Donna. So that's going to be another 18 points for Harlingen.
And I don't think Wesco High is going to get any points
Right.
out of this. So, I mean, the deficit is still quite a bit. So, it may or may not be enough, but for sure we know for a fact that they're going to close the gap a little bit here.
Yeah, they'll close the gap a little bit. As you mentioned, it may be too little too late because we've got one last event. And that event is going to be the 4x400 meter relay. So we'll come up with the results, or we'll bring you the results of the 1600 meter run in just a few moments. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and give you the lane assignments in the 4x400 meter relay in the girls finals. It's going to be lane 1, Harlingen, lane 2, Wesco East, lane 3, Donna, lane 4, Westlaco, lane 5, Harlingen South, lane 6, Mercedes, lane 7, Donna North, lane 8, Progreso. Westlaco East, they'll get their relay going with Melody Herrera. Second leg will be Paola Rodriguez. Third leg, Maya Gomez. Clarissa Jaramillo will be the anchor. For Westlaco, Alessa Zapata will get things started off. Emma Arndt is going to be the second leg. Calisa Cavazos, leg number 3. And it's going to be finished off by Amity Ebarb. And Mercedes is going to start off with Leah Adame. Riley Castaneda, leg 2. Third leg, Haley Garza. Serena Limas will be the anchor. Donna North, Ashley Garcia, Jennifer Hernandez, Ariana Garza, Damaris Regalado. Progreso, Cyan Alanis, Sofia Pesina, Janelle Ramos, Diane Garcia. Harlingen is going to have Sydney Portillo, Milka Tinajero, Alyssa Salas, Cassandra Rodriguez. And Donna has Glendy Hernandez, Angeles de la Cruz, Calista Nino, and Emily Jones. So those are the lane assignments and competitors of the girls 4x400 meter relay.
So this is the final event on the girls' side.
Yeah.
And then after that, we'll have the final event for the boys' side.
Correct.
Of the day, the Jimmy Platt 1600 meter lane 1.
But overall, a very good invitational this year for sure. Very competitive all around. I think all the coaches should be proud and happy.
Yeah, we've seen some very good races. You know, let's go back to the 200 meter dash. You talked about the young man from Mercedes who finished in 4th place. Now that young man finished all alone by himself. Again, you know, we go back to the discussion. What if he had been in that other section, that other heat where the competitors were a little bit stronger? Would he have finished a little bit better? You know, so, you know, but nonetheless, I like what you said, Mike. The coaches have got to be satisfied. These kids have competed. They've competed well. And, you know, they got nowhere to go but up.
Absolutely. I mean, because we still got we still have
3
a couple
weeks?
more events before district. And so this is just another invitational. And then they have a few more to look ahead to before the real meet that matters most comes.
So the young ladies are being sent out to their lanes as we are just a moment away from getting this one underway. The girls 4x400 meter relay followed by the boys 4x400 meter relay. Westlaco Alyssa Zapata, Emma Arndt, Kalisa Cavazos, Amity Ibar. Your Wildcats have Melody Herrera, Paola Rodriguez, Maya Gomez, and Clarisa Jaramillo. So this should be a really good race.
And the reason why, Joe, they call it the 4x400 meter relay is because it's one lap for 4 runners, and that equals to 1,600 overall. But it's one runner, 1 lap, 400 meters, but 4 athletes do it.
Westlaco coming in with the best time so far this year with 4 minutes and 6 seconds, meaning that each of these young ladies is running very close to 60-second 400 meters. I'm pretty sure you've got Amity Ebarb running 57s and everybody else running maybe 61, 62s, which is very strong for the women's division.
Yeah, collectively, it's very impressive. Very, very impressive. I mean, because according to this, the next one in line would be, what, 425?
Harlingen South.
Harlingen South at 425 even. Wow, that's a big gap.
That is, and so we are just about to get underway here in the 4x400 meter relay girls division. Girls are warming up. Red flag is still up.
And while we got some time, Joe, I'll read the results of the boys' high jump. It took place earlier today. In 4th place was Dominic Luna out of Harlingen High. In 3rd place was Nathan Gutierrez out of Harlingen High. 2nd place was Michael Vela out of Westlaco High. And your first place winner with a jump of 6 feet 2 inches was Caden Feeks out of Harlingen High School. That's the young man that Carlos Robledo interviewed earlier today.
White flag is up, so that means that we are now going to send it over to the starter. And as soon as we get this one started, I've got a little joke I wanted to throw now that you mentioned jumpers. Something that just came back to my mind. We got the red flag going back up, and since it's back to the red flag, we'll throw that out there. You mentioned a young man that won the pole vault. That young man also won the hurdles. So I was just going to say, did he hurdle the pole vault to win? Yeah, I know. But so, anyways,
nice little track joke there. Got to have some fun too.
So the red flag is back up. So we've got a stall in the start of the girls 4x400 meter relay. And again, Westlaco coming in with the best time at 4:06 so far this year. Lane 1, you got Harlingen. Lane 2, Westlaco East. Lane 3, Donna. Lane 4, Westlaco. Lane 5, Harlingen South. Lane 6, Mercedes. Lane 7, Donna North. Lane 8, Progreso. White flag has now been thrown up, and so we're going to send it back to the starter. And they're off. Clean start. The record is 4:03.19, set in 1998, even an older record. We had a lot set in 2001. This one goes back all the way to 1998.
Last century.
Yeah, exactly. But the girls aren't too far from that.
No.
So good opportunity here for them to maybe surpass and etch their own name in Jimmy Platt history.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it looks like the Westlaco High girls are going to win this meet once again, and what a perfect cherry on top if they can
finish with a record.
Finish with a new record. Absolutely.
So here comes Harlingen South. Harlingen South looks like they've got a small lead on Westlaco. Westlaco Zapata finishing strong, making up some ground. So here's the exchange. Emma Arndt looked like she got the baton first, and now she's already made up the stagger.
Yeah, as soon as she got that baton, she just took off.
Yeah. Yeah, and she's going to have an opportunity here to get to the first lane. And here she comes. So now we've got a true picture of first, second, and third, and it's Weslaco by about 12 meters on top of Harlingen South. So here comes Arndt. Arndt making the turn at the 200-meter mark. And they're beginning to establish themselves as the leader here in the 4x400-meter relay.
And it looks like Harlingen South has a pretty good lead in second place as well. So basically you got Weslaco, you got Harlingen South, and then after that you got about three teams back there.
And then you've got Calisa Cavazos, who's a 300-meter hurdle champion. And so she's got some legs and some power and some speed. And here she goes, and she's got the baton, and she's not skipping a beat. And here she goes on the first turn.
And if anything, Joe, she's extending the lead by a pretty wide margin now.
Yeah, you nailed it right on the head, Mike. Look at that. The second place is now about 30 meters behind, maybe 35 meters behind. And look at Cavazos take off. At the 200-meter mark, they've got a 40-meter lead on Harlingen South.
And the reason why we were able to dictate that is because we saw her kind of crossing by the end zone, and we had to measure it. And then the Harlingen South was like at the, 35, 40-yard line. So that kind of gave us a good idea of how far apart they are.
Yeah, look at the stride on Cavazos. And she's going to hand this off to Emily Ebar. Look at Cavazos, still looking strong as she finishes her leg of the 400-meter relay. Look at that handoff, that exchange. And here comes Amity Ebarb, and she's got a lead, and I don't think anybody is going to be able to catch her.
Yeah, basically the rest of the way, it's not even fair. it's just Amity Ebarb against everybody else. I mean, just...
Again, now let's see if they can break this record, because they are running a very good race here. Amity has got about 60 meters on this next competitor in Harlingen South. Here she comes down the backstretch. Amity being cheered on by the boys track team. Amity finishing strong, and I am very curious to know if Weslaco is going to break this record, because this time seems so very fast. I should have started a stopwatch.
Yeah, good point. A very good point. We see a clean shot of Amity Ebarb there, and then we see now Harlingen South coming in second place there, and now
Donna.
It looks like Donna's going to take third place. The young lady there just passed somebody else there.
So here comes Donna in third.
I can't really tell who that is. If it's Mercedes, you think, or
it might be Mercedes. And Mercedes comes in with a pretty strong time as well. And Weslaco East finishing there in fifth. So again, you mentioned, Mike, that Coach Owens talked about his team and how he's really working on developing a very young team, and they've done really well tonight. So we're going to go to the boys 4x400-meter relay next, and in lane 1 it's going to be Weslaco East, lane 2 Donna North, lane 3 Harlingen South, lane 4 Weslaco, lane 5 Harlingen, lane 6 Progreso, lane 7 will be Donna. Weslaco will lead things off with Joe Maldonado, Nathaniel Martel, Jeremy Perez will be the third leg, and it will be anchored by Sebastian Flores. Weslaco East will begin things with Joe Lugo, Evan Mascorro. Jesse James Garcia will be the third leg, and Gianni Barrera will be the anchor. I'm curious to know if this guy's got anything left in the tank.
Oh, I bet he does. I'm sure he does. I mean, the way he's been performing today, oh man, I'm sure he could run till midnight tonight.
Yeah, we're gonna have to talk to him after the track meet today to see how he feels. Donna North is in lane 2. William Perez, Aiden Gomez, Oscar Salas, Leonel Izaguirre. Harlingen South is in lane 3. Randall Lopez, Devin Tagle, Aiden Moreno, Elias Ledesma. Lane 5, Harlingen, Fernando Quintanilla, Luis Galvan, Josue Landaverde, Chris Nowak. Lane 6, Progreso, Luis Garcia, Daniel Treviño, Rodolfo Sandoval, Adrian Cavazos. And in lane 7, Dana, Brian Juarez, Marco de los Rios, Mark Zamorano, and Francisco Contreras. So they are getting the boys ready to get started in the 4x400 meter relay.
And the interesting thing, Joe, is that looking at the prelim times, you got Weslaco High and Harlingen both at 3:34, the exact same time. So that shows how competitive this race is going to be. And then look at the
Harlingen South.
The next one in line is Harlingen South with 3:34.34. So this should be a good one.
Yeah, this is setting up for another good finish here because, we've seen so much stiff competition and so much, just great athletes here tonight, just really competing and finishing strong and looking good. And, a lot of these athletes are going to finish top in the district in a few weeks here.
Tell you what, Joe, we started the broadcast, at 4 o'clock, and it's 7 o'clock right now, or 7:05. But I tell you what, it's been a pretty fast track meet we've had. I mean, just time flies when you're having fun.
Absolutely. The old adage goes.
Yeah.
And it seems like we have fun each and every year. You and I do here, Mike. Always a pleasure to broadcast with you.
Yeah, it's always a pleasure to see the young men and women just compete against one another.
And it looks like it's a good, clean start. 3:23.01 is the record, and that's a very good one set just last year.
Harlingen High School, yeah.
Yeah, that was a really good Harlingen team, and today's Harlingen team doesn't fall too far behind. A couple of different names, but still a good squad. So Weslaco, Harlingen South are the teams to watch here, and Weslaco is out to an early lead.
Yeah, so the district meet should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Joe Maldonado, of course, he's had an excellent night tonight. He's run the 100, the 200, and has finished really strong, and he's got a really strong finish as he finishes the first leg of the 4x400 meter relay. So he'll bring Weslaco in first place as they begin the second leg, and that second leg is going to be Nathaniel Martel, another strong runner that is on this Weslaco High team. So Weslaco High out in front, followed by Harlingen South. Harlingen South has got Devin Tagle. Devin Tagle is a name we've heard a lot in the hurdles tonight, and now they make their way over to the first leg, and Martel with a very good lead, at least 30 meters on South.
Yeah, exactly 30 meters, as a matter of fact. I was looking at him from here, the press box, and Martel has really separated himself a little bit. But I tell you what, Harlingen South looks like they're trying to close the gap a little bit here.
So we'll have Jeremy Perez with the third leg for your Panthers. So Harlingen South beginning to make a move. Harlingen South, Devin Tagle, like I said, we've seen him compete very strongly in the hurdles. So Martel finishing strong, and Martel is going to hand the baton off to Jeremy Perez. And Jeremy Perez for your Panthers is out in front. He's coming out the first turn here in his leg of the 400 meters that he's got to run, and Harlingen South is in second, and now he's got a runner from Progreso. Is that Progreso taking second place?
It looks like it is Progreso, Joe. They're the ones wearing the black top with the red lettering there.
So Progreso's Rodolfo Sandoval really closing up the gap, and now here comes Harlingen South, Landa Verde taking the lead again. So it's going to be Weslaco, Harlingen, followed by Progreso. And Weslaco will finish with Sebastian Flores, and Harlingen South is going to finish with Elias Ledesma. And here comes Flores. Flores has got a small lead. Now it looks like he's extended that lead. So we'll see if he can keep this going. So it's Weslaco with a 30-meter lead so far. Harlingen South in second, Progreso in third. This is Adrian Cavazos of Progreso. Weslaco's got Sebastian Flores, and it's Elias Ledesma for Harlingen South. So this is going to be Weslaco. Flores is going to finish this off for the gold medal winning Weslaco Panther 4x400 meter relay. And Progreso, Adrian Cavazos has now taken the lead, and it looks like Progreso is going to be a silver medal finisher in the 4x400 meter relay, followed by Harlingen South.
Yeah, great job there by the Red Ants. They came in with a preliminary time of 3:41, so outstanding job there on that last race. A lot of credit to Adrian Cavazos there, the anchor for Progreso there. But the night belongs to the Weslaco Panthers, not only winning this race, but it's like they're going to win the meet as well.
And the girls too.
So congratulations to Weslaco High School and WISD.
Yeah, great job there by the Weslaco Panthers, finishing strong in the 4x400 meter relay. Both the girls and the boys finishing with gold medals as we round up the night here at the Jimmy Platt Invitational here at Weslaco Bobby Lackey Stadium. So, it's been a great night, Mike.
A lot of fun. It's been a lot of fun tonight.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of great competition. Not a lot of records fell tonight, partly due because that wind was really gusting. And as you mentioned earlier, we had to move some of the events to the other side to avoid some of that wind. And, of course, some of those events that you absolutely have to utilize, half the track or more than half the track, you have to face that wind. And so a lot of these races, especially here at the end, whether they be the 400, the 200, or 300 hurdles, they had to run into that wind, and that wind was tough.
Yeah, it really was tough, but the athletes were able to make the adjustments and still ran very well.
Yeah, they did. So again, Weslaco High finished strong here in the 4x400 meter relay. And so we'll wait for the final results to make their way over to our hands. So we've got a few events that we still got to get you the final results for. So again, Mike, just a great night. We mentioned a lot of athletes' names here tonight, a lot of athletes that we've got to talk about all year long, and whether it be basketball, whether it be volleyball, whether it be football, just a lot of different names mentioned throughout the year. And what a joy it is to see these kids compete at various levels, various sports, and compete well.
When you're exiting, go to the south side of the stadium to exit. Thank you.
So we'll wait for those final results of the final races so that we can give you the final totals. We know that Harlingen was trying to make a move point-wise, but didn't look like they had enough here at the end to overtake, in the boys division at least, the point total, as Weslaco finished first in the 4x400 meter relay. So that should keep them in first place as a team. We know that Weslaco, the ladies side, the Lady Panthers, did finish first as they were overwhelmingly in front of everyone else here tonight. So again, we're waiting for the final results so that we can get those to you and we can wrap up things for you guys here tonight from Bobby Lackey Stadium. So again, what a great night of track and field. We saw a lot of athletes doing well. We interviewed a lot of the athletes. You got to meet a lot of the athletes here tonight. And again, because of COVID, they had to limit the number of teams that did come and participate here tonight. But what a good job done by the administration, the coaching staff of Weslaco ISD. Again, the great concept of creating pods for the different schools that were here, keeping everybody socially distant. And then, of course, we had all the different sections in the different final events. And, of course, we had to keep those athletes separated as well. But just overall, a track meet that ran really smooth here in COVID era, the Jimmy Platt Invitational. So I'm waiting for Mike to come on over. He's over there with the judges and the team total maker, who's going to give them all of the final results. And as he does that, let's just talk a little bit about the teams that competed well. And we got a good shot of the 4x400 meter gold winning team, and that is the Weslaco Panthers, your Weslaco Panthers, as they finish strong here as we wrap up the night at Bobby Lackey Stadium. They are on top of the podium in first place. Great shot there by our K-West team. Want to thank our K-West team. They brought everybody out here. We had cameras on the track. We had cameras in the stadium. We had producers right behind us getting everything done. What a great job by the whole crew from K-West. We just want to congratulate them and thank them for again, just a great night of hard work here as they have been out here for quite a long time today because, again, you guys got to see the finals and the event, just the running events, but they have been here most of the afternoon, and a lot of them have been here since this morning because, again, we had a lot of field events going on this morning, and as you guys have seen throughout the broadcast tonight, we had a lot of interviews from a lot of those winners from our field events. So, again, just a great time here today. A lot of people getting their medals placed around their necks here, standing up on the podiums. And, again, the COVID era and social distancing, the podium looks a little different. The podium has been set apart in 3 different areas, not totally 3 different areas, but they are at least 6 feet apart. And so the different squads, the different individual events as they arrive on the podium are not pictured together as you normally see in a track meet. They are, again, socially distant. So a lot of people out there getting their pictures taken on the podiums as they celebrate their wins here tonight.
All workers, go to the awards table and see Ms. D for your
So our public address announcer is giving out more observations here as he gets people at where they need to be in the right place as they get set to head out of the stadium here tonight. But we still have some presentations to make as the judges tally up the final point totals, and we get not only the final results of the final events, but also the final point totals for the team as a whole. So Weslaco East doing a great job here at the Jimmy Platt Invitational, as we mentioned tonight. Weslaco East losing a lot of their great athletes from last year, and really a rebuilding track season for them, but they competed well tonight, and they've got a lot to look forward to. The future looks very bright for Weslaco East as they will be competing in the 5A division when it comes to district in just a few weeks, and Weslaco High, of course, in the 6A division in a few weeks. And we're going to toss it over to Mike Gonzalez as he has now entered the studio, and he's got more final results to hand over to you here tonight.
The final results for the girls 4x400 meter relay is 4th place Mercedes, 3rd place Donna High, 2nd place Harlingen South, and your 1st place winner with a time of a 4:05:59. Now, is that a new record?
No, it's not. 4:03 was the record.
Okay, so they're off by 2 seconds. Nevertheless, Weslaco High won the race, and they win the meet overall with 332 points, and Harlingen High School comes in 2nd place with 276 points. Now, for the boys, Joe, I was only able to get the top 2 results of the race, so we do know that Weslaco won 1st place with a time of a 3:29:85. The point system, they were still working on it, but it's fair to say that the Panthers won the Jimmy Platt Invitational. They had a pretty wide margin, and then they got 1st place in this race. So congratulations to Coach Gus Cabrera and the team.
Well, you mentioned that the girls finished with 4:05, so they improved by a second on the relay team, and the boys finished with a time of 3:23.
3:29:85.
3:29:85. They improved by 5 seconds. So a great job by the Weslaco. Both teams really improving, as you mentioned earlier. That's what you want to see here tonight is some improvement from the last time that they went out and competed.
Yeah, and so I think overall the coaches are very, very happy with the results, especially Coach Amaguer for the girls' side and Coach Cabrera on the boys' side. And I'm sure the rest of the coaches liked what they saw as well.
So, again, just a great job there by both relay teams as they improved their times. And, again, we just – that wind, if that wind wasn't as strong as it was, would we have seen a couple of these records fall?
Yeah, very good point. It's a very good point.
Okay. Well, Mike, as you said, it's safe to say that Weslaco boys and Westlaco girls are going to be the champion overall team-wise, as the points have not been totaled up just yet, but they are far enough ahead to say that they did win the race. I know you've got a few more results there.
Yeah, Wesco High finished with 352 points. Harlingen High finished with 302 points. So, yes, it's official now. The boys did win the Jimmy Platt Invitational.
So, for K-West, Mike Gonzalez, I'm Joe Aguilar. We want to thank Carlos Robledo, the director, for putting all this together. What a great job by the entire team of K-West, from the production team to the camera team, and just doing a great overall job bringing you this great broadcast. We just want to say good night from Bobby Lackey Stadium, where once again Westlaco High boys and Westlaco High girls win here at Bobby Lackey Stadium, the Jimmy Platt Invitational. And for the girls, it is the 11th straight win, if I am not mistaken. So congratulations to Coach Almaguer. So once again, we want to say goodnight for all of the K-West team members. We'll see you next time right here on K-West.